If you can hear this, you're in the circle now. Check your shoulders. Make sure it's just you and these words. You have now tuned in to the Let 'Em Know podcast, where the real talk's quiet and the truth talks loud. No accidents. You found this frequency. So sit back. Lock in. Let 'em know you're listening. You're now tuned in to the Let 'Em Know podcast.
I ain't even set my camera up or flip my shit down. Supposed to start at 10:30, but just got out the shower and got done shaving my shit up. But enough about that. What's good, Savvy Crew? What's good, YouTube? I'm coming back with another video. And in this one, we gonna be talking about, I think that's pretty good right there. In this one, we gonna be talking about the price for fame and what happens when you stop following the script. So we got two special videos, or really three good videos that I'm gonna react to, and it was four, but well, hold on, 1, 2, 3, yeah, it was four, but I ain't gonna do the Irv Gotti one. I might say that for later, or I don't know, I might not just do it, but we definitely gonna do these other three: Lil Wayne, NLE Chopper, and Tory Lanez. And I have already watched these videos, but the way that I have saved them and set them up in my, little playlist so I can go back to them and watch them, it was like I forgot how I was gonna do it, but it was like Lil Wayne's is like when you play by the rules, you know what I'm saying, you get, you get special opportunities, and you not, what I'm saying, you just play by the rules, you good type shit. But then we go to NLE Chopper video. It's gonna be talking about hold on, let me go. Okay, and on NLE Chopper video, it's gonna be talking about well, I was going. This is what I'm titling it, but in NLE Chopper video, it was gonna be titled the Two Doors of Fame. And then for the Tory Lanez one, it was gonna be what happens when you stop following the script, or stop, when you try to get bigger than the people who put you on, or try to, what I'm saying, like, do business without them, pretty much, what I'm saying, because they ain't gonna like that shit, and they the ones who put you on. So if you try to go against that, or try to, what I'm saying, pretty much do shit without them, they ain't gonna like that shit. But we gonna jump straight into this Lil Wayne video real quick.
I stuff fuck. I got when I was 11, Twist. I loved it. I ain't never pressed charges. I'ma do you like baby them did me.
What do you mean by that?
Big facts. Now we know what he mean by that, but what you mean by that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'll never forget that
Then that
day.
Then that grin he had, my nigga talking about he ain't gonna never forget that day. I bet.
Yeah, no, they was all in the kitchen. I was scared. It was cool. There was about this many niggas and shit too in that bit. I never forget the word. Suck Lil Wayne, let
What?
I was a different man.
Hey, and if you ain't never seen that video of Birdman on stage with some other artists, it was the Hot Boys artists, I guess that's who it was. And they was on stage. That nigga Birdman was inviting straight niggas up. So the other people in the group was like, hold on, nah, we gotta get some females up here. Where the females at? That nigga Birdman was talking about where the niggas at and shit, trying to invite straight niggas up on the stage and shit.
And after that,
Talking about, I like that, or we like some shit. He said something like that. I was like,
Lil
whoa.
Wayne. After that, yeah.
He also gonna be talking about gematria at the end of these videos too. And code shit in.
Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Script, back with another episode of The Doors to Success. And today we're exploring the career of legendary hip hop artist and rapper Lil Wayne. For those new, I have this series on my channel exploring the lives of rap artists, focusing on the darker.
So hold on, one more time, one more pause. Well, it ain't gonna be one more pause. Let me not say that, but one more quick pause, real quick, before the video actually start. Now this video, the reason I'm playing this one first is because this is what happens when you stay in good standing with them, with the organizations or the elite, whoever, you feel me? When you stay in good standings with them, you pretty much stay like Lil Wayne, the GOAT, you know what I'm saying, on top. I don't think he never really went against the grain or never really spoke out about anything. So, you know what I'm saying, he stayed loved. He stayed like, you know what I'm saying, the GOAT in music, so to say, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, you know what I'm saying, he never really had no problems. He just pretty much kind of did what they wanted him to do, or, you know what I'm saying, he followed the script all the way through. It was never really no problems with Lil Wayne. I don't think he never really came out and tried to like be discreet saying something, or, you know what I'm saying, like exposing the industry type shit. So this video right here I started off with first is because, you know what I'm saying, this is what happens when, you know what I'm saying, you stay relevant, you know what I'm saying? You're doing what you can to stay in good standings in Hollywood, you feel me?
Sides of their rise. Check out my playlist for more videos unpacking this concept.
Then the NLE Chopper video is gonna be about you know what I'm saying, what you gotta do type shit, the doors that you can go through, or that at least he took too as well. And then of course the Tory Lanez is what happens when you stop following the script.
But in a nutshell, DJ Vlad's 2014 interview with Nori laid it bare. Nori explained the rap game in a way that confirmed our suspicions, that as artists hit the peak of their stardom, they're presented a series of doors, each offering different paths. Door 1 is the independent grind, hustling solo against the industry's machine. Door 2, what Nori referred to as the fruity activities, tied to humiliation rituals or compromising moments that make you question one's character. Or door number 3, the sacrifice, where rumors swirl about losing someone close to lock in that spotlight. But before we explore the doors Lil Wayne has seemingly walked through, let's set the stage with a quick backstory. After all, it's Weezy F, baby. Who doesn't know him already?
And like I said, he's in very good standing pretty much with him, I feel like. So I think he might have did all the above besides the independent route. He took every other dough but the independent route.
Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., known to the world as Lil Wayne, was born on September 27, 1982, in the heart of New Orleans, Louisiana, in the gritty Holly Grove neighborhood of the 17th Ward. This impoverished area shaped his early life, filled with both struggle and resilience. His mother, Jacita Carter, a cook, was just 19 when she gave birth, raised him after his biological father, Dwayne Carter, divorced her when Wayne was only 2 and left the family. Wayne found a true father figure in his stepfather, Reginald Rabbit McDonald, whose memory he honors with a tattoo after McDonald's tragic death. As an only child, his mother was able to ensure he would excel academically. He was enrolled in a gifted program at Lafayette Elementary School and later attended Eleanor McMain Secondary School, where he was an honor student and a drama club member, even playing the Tin Man in a school production of The Wiz.
One thing I gotta say is pretty much everybody in Hollywood is actors, whether they are rapper, ball player, singer, whatever. Pretty much everybody in the industry is actors as well, because most of them took, like you just heard, they have either done acting before, or they doing acting while, you know what I'm saying, now, pretty much, because they pretty much have to act like they not doing no crazy shit behind doors, or act like, you know what I'm saying, they not pretty much all the conspiracy theories that's out there, you know what I'm saying, or did have to act like they didn't sell they soul over to the, you know what I'm saying, you know, to the industry type shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying. So, and not only that, a lot of them is actors on not even their character, the way they portray themselves. A lot of them act like they came from the streets and gangster and all that shit, but that's really an act as well, because a lot of them, like you just heard, came from good schools and shit. Motherfucker, what they call that motherfucker?
At Eleanor McMain Secondary School, where he was an honor student and he was enrolled in a gifted program.
Look, gifted programs and shit, or you know what I'm saying, they yeah, most of them wasn't really. Most of them came from like public, not public, but private school. Some of them came from private schools. If they did go to a public school, most likely they was not really like that. Just like the 21 Savage story. And there's a lot of them. I didn't say this in all my other videos. They either come into the industry pure looking and innocent, and then turn to this dark demonic or trying to be, you know what I'm saying, tough person later on down the road, because that's what they image switched up, like Drake, for example. Or motherfucking they already come into the industry as like this tough character, or they probably actually was living that lifestyle. But even if they was, they still was in that group. They still part of that family line, because mostly everybody in the industry is related, whether they cousins, brothers, whatever. Most of everybody in the industry is related, bro. So either way it goes, they all some goddamn actors too.
The Tin Man in a school production of The Wiz. But his path wasn't without pain. At 12 in 1994, Wayne faced a life-altering moment when he
and they have to come up with the pretty much have to, but they come up with these backstories on how they grew up and how it was as a kid. That's why a lot of artists in different interviews, they'll say, just like this Lil Wayne, when he so-called shot himself, even if he did, how is you switching up the story every time you tell it? First, his name, the cop name that saved him or some shit was like Bob or something. And then the second name he said in another interview was like John or some shit. Two typical stereo ass typical names that a nigga would say when you making up a name or shit. John, Bob, motherfucking, who else? Chris or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Just little, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, they have to come up with you notice they always got these rags to riches ass story, every single one of them. And I mean, of course you'll be like, of course, because I mean, they was poor and then they finally made. No, the way they explain, they all somehow say that, I traveled out to New York, or the main one, I traveled out to Las Vegas or LA, and you know what I'm saying, I was just doing different jobs there or living out of my car, and then next thing you know, I went up to the damn record studio or whatever, or I seen this famous person and told them to listen to my song or whatever, or you know what I'm saying, something like that, or just, you know what I'm saying, out of nowhere my song, something just happened, boom, and you know, mysteriously I just got to where I am now, you know what I'm saying, or type shit, you know what I'm saying, I made it. You know what I'm saying? They all give some type of story like that. Or I went up to New York and, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, I met a couple friends down there, you know, they was connected with the industry and, you know what I'm saying? They was helping me. There's always some stories like that.
Accidentally shot himself with a 9mm handgun, a wound so severe he later revealed it was an attempted suicide. An off-duty police officer, Robert Hubler, saved his life by rushing him to the hospital. By 15, Wayne left Marion Abramson Senior High School to pursue a GED, a decision spurred by his mother's discovery of a gun in his school bag and his growing focus on music. Music was Wayne's salvation and passion from a young age. At just 8, he wrote his first rap song showcasing a natural talent that would soon change his life. In the summer of '91, a 9-year-old Wayne met Brian Baby Williams, better known as Birdman, the founder of Cash Money Records. Birdman saw something special in the young rapper and signed him as the label's youngest artist. Wayne began his professional career as part of the BGs, a duo with fellow New Orleans rapper BG, then known as Lil Doogie. By 1996, he joined the Hot Boys, a group with Cash Money label mates Juvenile, BG, and Turk. The Hot Boys took the hip-hop world by storm with albums like Get It How You Live and the platinum-selling Guerrilla Warfare. Their single Bling Bling featured on BG's Chopper City in the Ghetto, and Wayne's appearance on Juvenile's Back That Ass Up became defining moments, showcasing his lyrical skills. In 1999, Wayne stepped into the spotlight with his solo debut, The Block Is Hot, which went platinum and marked him as a rising star. Though his next albums Lights Out and 500 Degrees saw less commercial success, Wayne's career soared again with his innovative mixtape series. Starting with The Drought in 2003, these mixtapes, often released for free online, redefined the format and highlighted his relentless work ethic and rapid-fire delivery by rapping over other artists' hit beats and dominating them on their own tracks. By 2005, Wayne's influence grew as he became president of Cash Money Records and founded Young Money Entertainment, a label that would launch the careers of superstars like Drake and Nicki Minaj. At this point in Wayne's career, he was on a serious hot streak with no signs of slowing down. He dropped the Carter 2 in 2005, marking his 5th studio album, but it was the Carter No. 3, his 6th album and 3rd installment in the Carter series, that became his biggest commercial success. The album sold over 8 million copies and earned him his first Grammy wins, including Best Rap Album and Best Rap Song for his smash hit, Lollipop, featuring Static Major, a key figure we'll dive into shortly. But like I said, this was just a quick backstory, the rest for Wayne is history. So without further ado, let's dive into door number 1 and let you be the judge of whether or not he went through it or not.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant
He went through it.
open universe where you can do
By now, I'm sure most Lil Wayne fans have seen those videos and pics of Birdman and Lil Wayne kissing. From that O2 Rap City appearance,
I got my son right here. Okay. Special delivery too. He was a special delivery. You all right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Lack. How you doing, Wayne? Big Stone. Everything good? My bad. Everything good? My bad.
That's pretty gay.
to Wayne's comments on BET years later.
I gotta ask, ladies, I got y'all up here. So when you kiss a girl, right? Do they
I'm not the person he
break her
kissed.
teeth?
That's how I roll.
Like he said, we gonna let you decide though. But me, yeah, he went through that though. Then he gonna show the other though later.
Well, okay, that's nobody else, we man. Roll like
Okay,
that.
now.
Ain't no freak.
Okay, that's-
We just roll like that. That's my son. I raised him. You heard
I'm
me?
gonna leave that one alone.
All the way to that infamous photo floating around the web. It's no surprise those two are super tight. Birdman calls it a father-son bond, but let's keep it real. He ain't Wayne's biological pops, so it's really just two grown dudes smacking lips.
That's gay.
Now, I'm just saying, artists often end up doing some wild, fruity shit on these labels, and somehow it catapults them to new heights. It doesn't always pan out that way for every artist, but for Wayne, his close tie with Birdman has clearly fueled his career, Even through their messy disputes over money and personal drama, they still stay tight to this day.
Man. And if you be like, nah, this still can't be true, bro. Artists don't do that. I don't know if I can even find it because I forgot the artist's name, but it was like a young thug, Lil Wayne look-alike trying to be rapper, mostly Young Thug, but he was wearing a dress and shit. You know that one dance where they get on the floor, they bounce up and down and do their hands like that. He was pretty much on the floor like that, bouncing up and down, trying to look hard in a fucking dress, and then started sucking on the tip of the gun, bro. A female was like holding it. I know y'all remember that artist. If I can't, I don't even remember the name or the video, bro. But yeah, if you seen that, you can't tell me that artist don't. And then not only that, if you go just do your research on every artist, and you know what I'm saying, on and what, you know what I'm saying, the backstory. But not only that, or you know what I'm saying, just what they did in public. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of this shit, just like this interview and shit, they was doing this shit. You feel me? But and the other door as well, because he gonna talk about Static Major and how that was probably Lil Wayne's sacrifice. He was Lil Wayne's sacrifice. Go look, just go search up these rappers and search who the people that didn't died around them. And then look at the time it happened, right before they went platinum or at the same time they went platinum or blew the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Just like the baby. How the fuck your dad die soon as your shit go platinum? Mariah Carey, I think she killed her mom and or some shit like that. Sacrificed her mom and sister. That her sister was, I think, recently. Maybe, I don't know, but bro, just go look. Just go look at these artists and just do some research around them and who all done died. To do it, to even get fame like you, or to continue the fame within the family, you have to, or pretty much, yeah, you know what I'm saying, you have to give up something, a sacrifice, you feel me, a loved one. I said in one of my older videos that there was some, and I mean, of course, but there was some indigenous Indian tribes that used to play around with, you know what I'm saying, the black magic or the dark side of magic. I got a video coming about this too, but you know what I'm saying, and or you know what I'm saying, but and they used to like say they shaped like they would turn into a animal, like when it was time for war or something, they would like go into these caves or something. That would, you know what I'm saying, just go somewhere and do, like, you know what I'm saying, their little ritual, whatever, and then turn into that some sort of, I guess you could say, like a spirit animal, but they would like spirit animal, but they would like transform into, you know what I'm saying, so when they go into that battle they could get, I guess, extra power or some shit. So but also when they did like them type of rituals, or when they did rituals, you know what I'm saying, it was another one, I forgot how, so I ain't gonna even, you know what I'm saying, try to explain it, but there was this one and I forgot, I think his name is Peter Santinello or something like that, Santello or something, and he a YouTuber, and he go around, you know what I'm saying, just vlogging, you know what I'm saying, all the cultures and shit. He did a whole lot of indigenous Indians and the Comanche, the Apache and all that shit. And that's what they was explaining in it. And yeah, pretty much they said after you do that, you wouldn't directly lose somebody then, or you wouldn't, sometimes they do sacrifice them up then, but you wouldn't directly, like, you know what I'm saying, just hand them over like hog tied to a stick, like how they be showing in videos sometimes, or you know what I'm saying, like movies and shit, you know what I'm saying. But those, I'm pretty sure they do those type of, you know what I'm saying. But no, it was more so like later on down the line, something would happen, like maybe get into a car wreck, you know what I'm saying, just like the Anthony Joshua shit, or motherfucking, you know what I'm saying, just later on down the line, something will happen to them, but not directly then when you do the shit, the ritual or sacrifice.
Now, with a 13-year age gap and Birdman meeting Lil Wayne when he was just 9, there's always been rumors swirling that Birdman was grooming him. Those pics and videos sure don't help quiet that narrative.
I'ma do you like baby them did me.
Then again, Birdman addressed this a few times, like on Tim Westwood TV in '09, saying, quote,
"That's my son, you hear me? If he was right here, I'd kiss him again. You hear me? I kiss my daughter, I kiss my other son." I think people just took that too far, man, you know?
It must have frustrated you as well, because he was like, come on, man. He was like, you know.
Listen, I kiss my son too, but not on the motherfucking lips. I kiss him on the cheek. Maybe the forehead or something, maybe. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm not on the motherfucking lips, my nigga. And Lil Wayne ain't even your real fucking son, bro.
It's my son, man. I'll do it again, do it tomorrow. I'll kill for him, ride for him, and die for him.
Fast forward to 2021 on Revolt's Big Facts podcast, he was asked about those same clips and pics, and here's what he said.
So I'm writing an essay on cats. Cats in art history. I'm an art history major.
A while back, there was a situation where you and Wayne had like a kiss thing going on.
Facts.
So yeah, so like they wanted to know like what the deal was with that.
First of all, my own born son,
Yes.
I would kiss him.
Right.
I know you got a child, you probably kiss him. You probably got a son and you kiss him.
Yeah.
You heard me? I always looked at Wayne as my son, and I always looked at it like, because I was in the streets, and I thought this might be the last time they ever see me.
Damn.
Because I was living like that.
Right.
So I was like, that's what that shit really started from. Because I thought that every night I leave, I might not never come back.
Yeah.
And I always today look at Wayne as my child.
However, no matter what Birdman says, his actions always speak louder. And there's nothing more telling than that one time when he demanded security to bring some dudes on stage while
This is the video I was talking about. You gonna show it. When I watched it, it was like a couple days ago, so I don't remember exactly everything in these videos, but yeah, I guess
Hot Boys had a little intermission trying to set up a twerk contest with some ladies.
I'ma show you what type nigga I am, right? These niggas right here been bucking with me all night. I want y'all to come up here and fuck with me.
Come on, let them niggas
y'all
up here.
Y'all 3, y'all 4, right? Yeah, all y'all come up here and fuck with a nigga. It's cool like that. You heard me?
What's
Look,
up?
Trevor,
What's up?
what's wrong with her?
Come on, you wanna come up here?
Fuck that. What
You
a
wanna come
hot
up here?
girl said, man.
You gonna shake?
Look, if you ask me, it all feels pretty sus. But no matter his undeniable hits, it seems clear to me at least that Lil Wayne opened this door to success. But hold up, aside from that weird relationship those two got going on, we gotta dive into Lil Wayne's rock phase. After dropping Rebirth in 2010, a rap rock experiment many still call his worst album, Wayne swerved hard from his usual sound. His fashion started shifting too. And keep in mind, back in 2011, things weren't nearly as out there as they were now. So when Wayne rolled up in leopard print, skin-tight women's jeggings, it set off a media frenzy. Folks were speculating, and even back then, people like myself were saying it's.
And I had talked about that leopard print in one of my, I think it was my last video, and what the symbolism of that means, and at least for women in the industry. I'm pretty sure it might mean something sort of similar for men.
It's a part.
Or they just had to put that on as part of a humiliation ritual, or motherfucking had to put it on because that's what the PR team, the label or whatever wanted them to, you know what I'm saying, for the video or some shit.
Part of the industry's twisted games or some sort of humiliation ritual. But that itself is pretty tame compared to what Wayne's rap game offsprings like Young Thug and Playboy Carti have been caught up in. Both dudes
and not only that, for a long time, even still now today, a lot of artists, well, mainly now, not really today because, you know what I'm saying, but there is still some artists probably, or, you know what I'm saying, people in the industry that have stylists and shit. So, and then, you know, a lot of them stylists either they gonna be a female or they probably gonna be on that spectrum. You know what I'm saying? They might be gay. So yeah, and they gonna have them. You know what I'm saying? Where they, or you know what I'm saying? So yeah,
heavily inspired by Wayne, keep landing in some questionable moments. Like I said in my recent Kanye West video, sometimes you don't need any gematria to decode what's really going on with these artists, but for door number 2, we'll definitely need to crunch some numbers.
You don't have to love the system that we live in to stop being crushed by it. I hate that capitalism creates a hierarchy of worth.
hell, most of these damn so-called fashion designers like Rick Owens and shit, most of them is you know what I'm saying, going both ways too, or going, you know what I'm saying, the other way. You know what I'm saying? There was just a video that came, or video, but it was just some photos and shit coming that came out with him and his brand at a or something, I don't know, but they was taking some videos, I mean some pictures, and all they was doing was kissing, whether it was him and some dude or his wife Michelle Lammy, I forgot this or whatever the fuck, but whatever the fuck, something her and kissing on some other dude, I think, or a woman or a girl or something. I was like, yo. So most, you know what I'm saying, if you, I'm telling you, if you in the industry, bro, if they in the industry, they did took one of them doors or both of them. Especially if they was in there for a long, in the industry in Hollywood for a long time and getting a big money. They was actually getting some money. Oh man, yeah.
Now, this one's pretty interesting, and before folks jump to say it couldn't,
because not everybody in Hollywood is actually even getting money like that. Nigga, do you realize that they be paying like $1,000 for films and shit, like for video, for like, you know what I'm saying, movies and shit like that? They be paying people like 1,000 plus, like, you know what I'm saying, plus to do movies and shit like that, ads. That's not, I forgot what it was on, but bro, I'm gonna try to pull, I'm gonna see if I can do, I might do a video on that shit.
Possibly be true, especially since
now,
Wayne and
of course, the more, I guess, successful you are, or the more famous or, you know, popularity you got, of course the more money they'll pay you. But even athletes and shit like that, they not even, unless you one of them, you know what I'm saying, top performers, they still not really making, you know what I'm saying, that much.
Static Major didn't have much of a relationship before the Carter 3, only bumping into each other here and there at different studios. The numbers sure seem to tie the success of Wayne's 6th album to the death of the legendary song.
But they athletes are really making more than rappers though.
Writer, artist, and producer Static Major. For those who don't know Static Major, his influence still echoes in R&B and hip-hop. Born Stephen Ellis Garrett Jr. on November 11, 1974 in Louisville, Kentucky, he honed his musical gifts early, leading a church choir at 6 and later joining the R&B group Playa.
And you notice how a lot of them, well, I mean, I guess that you could say, you know what I'm saying, that would be a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people was part of some religion at one point, whether they left or, you know what I'm saying, still is. But yeah, you notice how they all was like part of the choir, Rod Wave and shit. They was like in the choir, whether they was playing the drums and they was like a beat maker, the you know what I'm saying, the producer, or a motherfucking you know what I'm saying, in the church choir, you know what I'm saying, being a singer like Rod Wave and shit, and you know what I'm saying. I guess as Lil Wayne too, you know what I'm saying, or that's, or was it Static Major or whatever. But bro, I'm telling you all, bro.
Mentored by Jodeci's Devontae Swing, he adopted the name Static Major, inspired by Dr. Dre's You Better Recognize, and crafted iconic tracks like Genuine's Pony, Aaliyah's Rock the Boat, and Destiny's Child's Bills, Bills, Bills. His innovative R&B, hip-hop, and pop fusion defined Aaliyah's self-titled album. In 2008, Static's vocals on Lil Wayne's Lollipop elevated the Carter 3 to diamond status, earning a Grammy and marking a pivotal collaboration. Unfortunately for Static though, he would suspiciously pass away at the young age of 33 just before he could earn his first ever Grammy Award.
And if you didn't know his stage name, Static Major, you had likely heard his music. He was in the R&B group Playa in the early 90s, but grew to be an accomplished songwriter.
Let's return to New Year's Eve of 2007, where things get a little strange. Before the world would have the word lollipop stuck in their head for the next few years, Static was in the studio with Lil Wayne as he was working on the Carter 3, with Static telling Wayne that he needed a pop song for the album and played him Lollipop. And according to Static's business manager, Louise West, Lil Wayne told him, quote, "Hold the presses," he found his first single. Before you know it, Static Major and Lil Wayne were in Las Vegas shooting the video for the song that took Lil Wayne from rap legend to pop status, catapulting him into the mainstream with the help of Static Major's skillfully crafted lyrics that were oh so simple yet extremely catchy and memorable. Filmed at the Gavin Maloof residence on 27 Eagles Landing Lane and the Las Vegas Strip, the two are seen living the high life. With Static's hands on the pulse for hit records, both him and Wayne were confident that the song was going to be a major hit. Not only for Wayne, but also give Static the recognition he needed to catapult his career into the mainstream, as he was gearing up to release his first solo album, Supper Time. When the video shoot for Lollipop wrapped up in Las Vegas, Static flew home and performed at a Valentine's Day cabaret last February at the Melwood Arts Center, organized by Dewan Bibb, co-owner of Big Don and MJ Entertainment, and a childhood friend of Static Major. Static complained about being a little sick at the time, explaining that he had been trying to shake a cough since the Lollipop shoot, Bibb remembers. Nonetheless, he was pumped about performing in front of a hometown crowd. Unknowing to his family and friends, Static's performance at the cabaret would be his last. A week after the cabaret, the studio hermit, who was known to spend hours writing and harmonizing, was forced to cancel an entire day's session. The cough he complained about earlier was persistent and getting worse. With a hoarse voice, Static called home to his wife, complaining about dizziness and aches. He told Avanti he was unable to open his right eye and had been bedbound for most of the day. Static reluctantly went to DeKalb Medical, a hospital located in Decatur, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta. There he told Avanti doctors said he had acid reflux. He returned to Louisville, still wary about checking in for medical treatment. The article talks about Static's fear of hospitals, derived from the loss of his sister Melinda, and how Static was convinced the hospital had something to do with it. A quick side note, Static, after departing from Def Jam Records, signed with Black Grounds Records in the early 2000s, owned by Barry Hankerson, the uncle of late R&B singer Aaliyah, who died in a mysterious
Look, what I say, everybody had somebody, whether they had a family member in the industry, whether it was their mama, whether it was their dad, whether it was their uncle, whoever, cousin, somebody was in the industry already for them to get into the industry. Because I forgot what that actor name, that comedy person name was, but he said it's a big old club and you ain't in it, literally. Just like that Chris Brown song, Let's Go. I forgot what it's called. I forgot, but he said in the beginning, he was like, how you hating outside of the club or whatever, and you can't even get in. Whatever, I forgot what he said. But yeah, bro, it's a big club and we are not in that motherfucker. And for us to get in there, either you're going to have to work overtime and show that you really probably dedicated, maybe. Now, this is my theory on that part. But, or you still gonna have to do some sacrificing and shit, definitely, because you are outsider. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of one-hit wonders, but even them had family members in the industry. But if they was a one-hit wonder and they really made it in the industry from being like a regular person, most of them turned one-hit wonders because they didn't want to do what it took to get into the industry, or they just didn't let them in because they was an outsider. But most likely it's because they probably just didn't. I mean, that too. They didn't want to let them in because they was an outsider, or because they definitely didn't do the sacrificing and shit. But you see that Aaliyah, her dad was already in the industry as a R&B blues singer, player, whatever, or some shit like that. Whatever they just said he was.
Plane crash. Remember, Static helped contribute a lot on one of her big albums, so it appeared that Static had experienced his fair share of tragic losses during his short life. Now, with things getting worse at home, Static's wife Avanti convinced Static to check into the nearest hospital. So on February 25, 2008, Static was in the care of Baptist Hospital East, and after a number of tests, was diagnosed with a rare condition called myasthenia gravis, an autoimmune disorder with hallmark symptoms of muscle weakness and fatigue. Doctors recommended a procedure called plasmapheresis, a treatment.
Hold on real quick. I'm sorry. Let me see if I still got this setting going real quick. I do. I got it on. Okay, cool. I got it on dual stream. That's all I wanted to see. All right, let's go. Back to the video. Is there even anybody in there? There's a few people.
Similar to dialysis that removes toxins from the blood using an implanted catheter as a central line through the neck and into the chest area.
You, just you, building your app on base 44.
This is where things got real murky. Static expressed immense pain after the insertion of the catheter, but one of the nurses failed to acknowledge Static's concerns. At this time, none of Static's family was there, as he had just requested his wife to return home to grab specific things he'd prepared on a list, only for Avanti to receive a call from Static's mother that he'd just passed out. Trying to think optimistically, Avanti hoped it was just out of his fear of hospitals, but by the time she arrived, Static was without a heartbeat and officially dead. His family was extremely suspicious of the nurses and doctors involved, and in later dispositions, Nurse Diane Richards, who performed on Static that day, recalls that when the catheter was placed, he did express discomfort, quote, this hurts too much, there's something wrong in my organs, which was unusual. She recalls performing an x-ray to ensure it was placed correctly. However, later, Chief Surgeon Dr. Dean J. Wickle informed Nurse Richards that it was indeed in the wrong place and instructed her to remove it, and it was during the removal process when Static began losing consciousness. By the time it was fully removed, he passed out and sadly wouldn't regain consciousness. Months after Static's passing, his wife would file a lawsuit against Baptist Hospital East and Dr. Dean J. Wickle, who recommended and administered Stevens' treatment. The suit alleges that medical negligence on the part of the hospital and doctor caused Stevens' death, and demands a jury judgment for compensation and punitive damages, along with costs associated with pain and suffering. With his music career projecting to soar, especially after the success of Lollipop, his earning potential was bound to be huge. However, it turned out that only Wayne would get to bear the fruits of the two's labor. Exactly 17 days after Static passed away, the music video for Lollipop premiered on BET.
And if you don't know, they have paid off doctors, they have paid off lawyers, they have paid off judges, they have paid off every and anything. Whatever they need paid off, they can have it paid off, money. Or have them paid off to get whatever they need done.
And much like Static predicted, the song was a smash hit, helping Wayne achieve some of the biggest accolades of his career, despite already being in the game for 10 years up until that point. So without further ado, let's get into the numbers. Static Major died on February 25th, 2008. Emphasis on the 25th, as the word death equates to 25. Next, we know he died at the young age of 33. In numerology, this number holds major significance, so much so that I made a whole video on it for those that want to know more. But in this case, notice how his age of death aligns with the value of his first name, Steven, in the most pure cipher. But here's where Lil Wayne's connection starts to show in the numbers. Static Major died 107 days from his 33rd birthday. Notice Lollipop, the song that helped both him and Wayne earn their first ever Grammy Award, equates to 107. And if you've seen my videos before, you know we talk about how this number connects to the phrase ritual sacrifice. But what are the odds that the label Static Major was signed to, Blackground Records, also equates to 107? Remember, that's the same label that signed R&B legend Aaliyah. Now, if that didn't convince you, what are the odds that Static Major died 107 days before the release of the Carter 3? The album he helped propel to the top, and like you saw a second ago, it ties to all of these very relevant words. To really hammer it home, Lollipop premiered to the world on March 13th, the 73rd day of the year, matching with the phrase sacrifice and ritual sacrifice. While on the number 73, notice Static died 7 months and 3 days, like the number 73, from what would have been Wayne's 26th birthday. To further stamp why I believe this tragic loss was likely a sacrifice.
That's why I don't believe in coincidences anymore. Maybe one time, yes, but once it start happening multiple, or you see it multiple times, it most likely can't be no coincidence at that point. But maybe one time, sure, it could maybe be. But after that, nah, man. Something going on. Something going on. Something is being played with, puppeted, whatever.
For Lil Wayne's career, the title of his best-selling album, released the same year, equates to 67 and 86, like Human and Blood Sacrifice. The numbers certainly seem to point to a particular culprit, and with the way things played out in the real world for the two's lives, I can't help but feel there is more that meets the eye with his death. By February 8, 2009, about a year after the loss of music legend Static Major, he was posthumously awarded a Grammy, which Wayne accepted on his behalf on the 39th day of the year. Notice his stage name, Static Major, equates to 39. Lastly, remember the solo project I brought up earlier, Supper Time? Well, unfortunately,
I mean, why would Wayne take? Why would his girl not take? If they, I mean, unless that's not his girl. I mean, of course that's not his girl. He died, but I mean, still. But then again, not only that, I mean, unless they been messing with each other. If he found her while in the industry, sometimes they be sending, you know what I'm saying, females your way to get shit done too. You know what I'm saying.
Never got to come to light, but I did find it strange that it held the value of 56, aligning with the day of the year.
But still, that's odd that Wayne took it in on his behalf. If it wasn't even, I mean, well, I think he said, well, it was for the song Lollipop. I guess, yeah, but still, if it wasn't directly split between him and Lil Wayne, and it was just Static Majors, why would somebody from his family not take it? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, I do know, but you know what I'm saying? It's because they don't want no outsider people to mess with the shit. But not only that though, but you know what I'm saying? It's probably some other shit, but that's
Static Major died. Well, as always, I'm leaving it up to y'all watching. Was Static Major's death just a tragic case of hospital negligence, or was there something deeper at play? Did the industry try to dim his shine to keep Wayne's light blazing? The numbers sure make it look that way, but that's just my 2 cents. For now, that's all I got. And look, as much as I vibe with Lil Wayne's countless classics,
okay, so that's the end of that one. So that's what happens when, you know what I'm saying, you do everything that's needed. Now we go into the NLE Chopper video.
Have you ever tried celery root?
You know what I'm saying? Well, it showed the different doors on that video, but this one is, I'm doing it because I'm showing you the different sides of it, the dark and the light, the black and the white, the checkerboard floor, and you know what I'm saying, all that other shit and some more, you know what I'm saying?
It's a knobby, round root vegetable prized for its nutty,
Hey, what up, y'all? It's your boy Script here, back with
Another one.
And today I got another episode of this series I've been.
But the reason I am showing this one though for NLE Chopper is because just in that one video he did where he was like, I guess you could say dissing Young Boy. If you pay close attention to that video and you can understand and read this shit and see the symbolism, all that other shit, you'll notice a lot of time in the videos he was standing on both the black and the white square, meaning that he has played both sides, or he been on both sides type shit, or he is playing both sides. He's playing, trying to portray the light while he's also playing on the dark side, you know what I'm saying? But even for them, they have the good side and the bad side, which is the black magic and the white magic, which is the left and the right, or the left hand and the right hand, or the motherfucking I guess you could say political party, the Republican and I was finna say Republican and Dominican. God damn it, the whatever the fuck that other one called, you know, the donkey and shit.
Run entitled The Doors to Success. Today we're focusing our attention on the Memphis recording artist NLE Choppa. Choppa's name's been ringing a bit since he'd announced on his X account, quote, "I'm coming out," which of course sparked a bunch of rumors, along with the fact that bro's been wearing some pretty questionable clothing and making even more questionable music.
Smell like this. I'm trying to eat that ass. Hey, yo!
But we'll get into that in a bit. For those not familiar to this concept of the Doors to Success,
allow me to explain.
Nearly 10 years ago now, Queens, New York rapper Nori, now known for his podcast Drink Champs, did an interview with DJ Vlad where he described his encounter with fame and what it was like during the peak of his rap career. For you young bulls watching the channel, Nori did have a fairly respectable rap career and sold more on his debut album back in '98 than rappers with millions of followers do now. I'll bring this up just to put into perspective the credibility behind his statement. Nori talked about the concept of doors one must pass through to advance in their career. He mentioned 3 specific doors he was presented with.
There's 3 different doors, right?
And look,
one involving some fruity activity.
And a lot of people, because I seen a lot of people play this video and heard a lot of people talk about this video in videos and shit, and they always bring it up. But he ain't even see this. He throwing that up. They ain't even catch that right there. He always been part of the industry, but even though that you in this shit, it's not like you just even though that you in, you know what I'm saying, those organizations, the industry, you know what I'm saying, of course, secret society, whatever, you still have to put in the work. You're not, I mean, you can't, you do get special privileges, but you still have to put in the work and show that, you know what I'm saying, you can do there, or you're supposed to be there. I guess you could say whatever, you know what I'm saying. They will put you in connections with these people, but you still have to, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, do what you got to do, and you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying. But the reason he probably stopped being in the limelight is because he didn't take those doors at the time. Even though you don't do it at the time, you still could always come back later on to do it. We done seen a lot of artists do that as well, and he is one of them. You see, he ended up getting his own podcast, Revolt, on Diddy shit. Oh, dude, with you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but or supposedly he owned part of it or something. Diddy did, but yeah, they ain't even throw up, they ain't even see. And you could probably say he doing the pointing ritual. You could probably say he doing the pointing ritual too, because he pointing up. But he throwing, they ain't even catch the air, and he making the triangle, I guess you could say, with his fingers connected like that, I guess you could say.
3 different doors, right?
With one involving some fruity activities on some humiliation ritual type shit, another requiring some form of sacrifice, and lastly, the independent route. Now, this isn't anything new when he said it, and it's not anything new as I'm saying it now. People around the world like myself have felt this way since we were young, noticing strange symbolism with artists, them doing some questionable stuff, or worst of all, someone important to them passing away unexpectedly.
My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
And hold on.
EVE Online is a
Because everybody was trying to call Kanye crazy, but now look, everything that I never thought Kanye was crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I never really thought he was crazy. I always thought everything he was saying was pretty much true. Now, on the other hand, like Orlando Brown, he do be speaking some shit, but at the same time, I think he might be just maybe a little, that might be his character, you know what I'm saying, he playing, but sometimes I don't know, but you know what I'm saying, it might be his character, and he really is, you know, that's not really, you know what I'm saying, how, you know what I'm saying, but yeah.
Someone with a solid industry resume speak on it only reassured me and others in these notions. But before we talk about Choppa and the doors I suspect he's walked through to achieve and maintain his fame, let's get a little bit of a background story. Bryson LaShawn Potts, better known as NLE Choppa, was born on November 1st, 2002 in Memphis, Tennessee. Raised in the Parkway Village neighborhood of Southwest Memphis, Choppa's early life was deeply influenced by the cultural richness and challenges of his environment, which would later be reflected in his music. And challenges of his environment, which would later be
that's all you gotta do. Either he was already in it, like I'm saying, because you don't just get into that point. I'm pretty sure there's somebody he's related to, or his mama or dad was part of some organization. Maybe both of them. Because his mama was, they was both, like, I guess you could say managing over him, but mainly you heard about his mama more. You ain't really hear about his dad. You heard about him and his mama always traveling together, and that was his road manager, all that, or some shit like that, and all, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I think his dad had a part in it too. He was, you know what I'm saying, doing something, but yeah, I'm telling you, bro, that shit.
Reflected in his music. Choppa grew up in a supportive and close-knit family, where both of his parents played crucial and equal roles in his upbringing and career. His mother, Angelita Ellis Potts, and his father, Brandon Potts, both serve as his managers, guiding him through the music industry and providing the foundation for his success. The involvement of his parents, along with the strong bond he shares with his older brother, also named Brandon Potts, has been instrumental in shaping his personal and professional life. During his early years, Choppa attended Cordova High School in Memphis, where he was known for his basketball abilities. However, despite his athletic talent, his passion for music began to take precedence. At 14, he started rapping with the homies, and initially just treated it as a hobby. But this interest quickly grew into a serious pursuit, leading him to release his first track, No Love Anthem, at the age of 15 under the name YNR Choppa. At just 16 years,
and I bet you before he was probably gonna become famous in rapping, he was probably supposed to be you know what I'm saying, either a famous ball player, you know what I'm saying, a talked about ball player, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure.
Years old, following the viral success of his single Shot of Flow in 2019, Choppa made a pivotal
he just switched up his image
decision in his career. He turned down a $3 million offer from a major record label.
He probably did, or you know what I'm saying. Either way, it definitely ain't what it seemed to be.
Opting instead to remain independent by partnering with United Masters in February 2019. This move allowed him to retain control over his music. However, by July 2019, Choppa signed with Warner Music Group to launch his own label, No Love Entertainment, marking a significant step in his journey as an artist. Choppa's education was put on hold when he decided to drop out of school in the 10th grade to focus on his rapidly growing music career. However, he did later return to complete his education, graduating from Greater Place Christian Academy in 2020, a milestone he dedicated to his mother as a gesture of appreciation.
A public school. I mean, not public, but like a private type school.
For her unwavering support.
Marketing is easy. This one even said we should get some fancy cookie pop-up, and we respect.
Now, it was after signing to a label where it became clear, at least to me, that Choppa was willing to do whatever it took to stay here. Some of you might recall back in the summer of 2020 when NLE Choppa announced his spiritual awakening on his socials, telling fans that he's no longer promoting any kinds of negativity in his music and was making a major shift both personally and professionally. He claimed at the time to be getting closer with God, and of course, people's reactions were quite mixed, with some saying,
and all that means is that he joined, and so, or he probably, even if he wasn't outside and there was somebody in his family that was already part of some, you know what I'm saying, something, you know what I'm saying, because they not just gonna let, you know what I'm saying, and once again, actually, they will let in, you know what I'm saying, but you definitely gotta show that you down with the get down, you know what I'm saying, because they will let in outside, but not just, you know what I'm saying. If you see how he and when he was coming up and he threw that up, the I forgot the actual. I'm gonna have to get the actual meaning. I forgot. I'm gonna have to go search that up. But I forgot the actual meaning of it. But the devil horn, so everybody called it. So they seen that, and they probably sent somebody his way to like see if he was gonna be down with the get down. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much he showed that he was, and you know what I'm saying. Probably joined. And then that's when that transformation bullshit happened, or you know what I'm saying, when they showing, you know what I'm saying, trying to do a spiritual awakening, talking about you getting closer to God. I done talked about this in all my other videos, how they say they trick you with this with God, so they say Jesus, and they trick you with that when they use them words. And not only that, be that once again, the organization like Freemasons, they so-called have the same Bible. The reason is because they made it. So when they say excuse me, they going to church, they probably don't mean church like we mean church. And if they do, the only difference is they really understand the mysteries of the Bible and what it's actually talking about. They understand all that Ruth, Boaz, all that stuff. And I got some shorts of from this TikToker that cause one day, I ain't gonna lie, when I got on there, I downloaded it because I was like, I'm gonna start posting some shorts on there. And then I started I seen this TikToker or this YouTuber that reacts to TikToks. So I searched his TikTok up, and then I started going through them motherfuckers. And bro, I took some of them and put them on my YouTube shorts. I took a couple of them videos and had to put them on my YouTube shorts because it just perfectly explained. He just perfectly said everything that I be saying in my videos or was saying. So I had to take them and put them on my shorts. Or in my video, some of them went to my videos tab, but yeah, I had to screen record that shit. But yeah.
Saying, I mean, live your life and let people live theirs. If he feels comfortable, why not? Another person saying,
and orange symbolism along with the butterflies. Orange in gematria equals 33, and it also means something else, but I know, yeah, orange symbolism and the butterfly.
he's just doing it for attention. Me personally, I felt like it was a marketing ploy off the rip, and like I always say, time will tell, and it sure did. During the time of the spiritual Choppa era, he released a mixtape on his birthday titled From Dark to Light, and many of his fans were praising his ability.
Look, he's on the dark side and the light side, showing that he's either been on both sides, or he's been on both sides, or that he's still playing both sides, or both, because they have double meanings for everything. So it could mean both of them. You know what I'm saying? But
to mature so young,
yeah, I hope he showed a video in here that I'm talking about, because what,
as an artist, following up the
when he was dissing the young boy, so supposedly
release of his conscious,
because young boy know that what he's doing is demonic. The reason Chopper said he's dissing young boy, or supposedly he's dissing young boy in that video, because he knows young boy know what he doing is demonic. And plus he even said it in his own video interviews, like I think he said it in like maybe even 3 interviews before, and y'all probably seen it. He said, but he pretty much said that he's demonic, and the industry that he's in is demonic, and the people around him is demonic. But so yeah, he pretty much, he know what he doing, and you know what I'm saying, but he's still doing the same shit and pushing the same agenda. Now NLE Chopper, so-called, is now on the light side, trying to push the more spiritual, enlightened, or illuminated side, the light, or be the Christ side, the Jesus, you know what I'm saying? But pretty much the light side. Okay. And yeah, but he's still in down with the group. You feel me? The Illuminati, the Freemasons, or whatever. You feel me? And once again, not every person in Masonry is Illuminati, but everybody that's Illuminati has to be a Mason. And so he probably leveled up and got to that point. Young boy too, maybe. But the only difference is he's playing, and Chopper is playing a light, and Young Boy is playing a dark side. But they still the same thing. It's the same sides on it's on the same pill. You feel me? If you split like the red side and then the white side on the pill that you can take, you know what I'm saying, apart, or whatever, that you can split, it's the same pill. Now it's just 2 different sides. That's the only difference. It's the same shit, but it's just 2 different sides.
Mixtape,
the red pill, the blue pill. You can either take the red pill, or I think I forgot how exactly that goes, because this the same shit. You could, I'm just gonna say, but it may not be exactly like this, because I forgot which side means which. But you can either take the red pill and be enlightened, or you could take the blue pill and stay still sleep, but you still, or pretty much you gonna be a puppet and not know what you doing and being played. You feel me? Or you could take the red pill and know what you doing and be enlightened, and you know what I'm saying, but pretty much trick other people still, like it, or trick, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know what I'm saying.
Choppa closed out the year with another song titled Protect, which continued to
either way, you still gonna be tricking people.
Display this quote-unquote spiritual side of Choppa. But in 2021, things took quite the turn, and that blindsided those very fans that thought he'd changed for the better. On March 28, 2021, NLE Choppa was arrested for multiple offenses, including burglary, drug and gun charges in Davie, Florida. When the news broke, fans were quick to call NLE Choppa out for the hypocrisy, as he just told everyone how he'd turn his life away from the very things he was arrested for.
And I guess you could say that was one of his humiliation rituals or something. But Yeah, yeah, I guess you can say that was one of his remuneration rituals.
Man, did it get worse. After posting bail the following day,
But hold on, you notice how they could not have no what you call it like no type of criminal charges, but once they get into the industry they start racking up all these charges, so supposedly, or even if they have went to jail a few times before they turned a rapper, maybe one time or two times or something, but once they get in the industry they just keep on going back, and you know what I'm saying. One is to promote that lifestyle. Two is probably to make them seem more street credible, I guess. If they trying to play like a, you know what I'm saying, on that side or whatever. Three, they fake, sometimes they say the artist went to jail, but really they not, and they probably doing some type of MK Ultra experiments or some shit. Ain't no telling. I
Appa
don't know.
released a track titled First Day Out, a remix to the popular track Beatbox by Spot.
I'm starting to think, I don't think they might not give they, well, I don't know. Some of them probably do maybe get you know, now I ain't gonna say maybe MK Ultra, yeah, MK Ultra, because they get like Kanye supposedly he released some text message that's his so-called trainer, I forgot, or whatever, but really his handler. What I forgot his name now, but yeah, he said he was gonna put him back on drugs and send him to Zombie Land or Lala or something like that. And playtime with kids ain't gonna be as much fun. So pretty much, yeah, they put artists on these drugs and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Got him on April 1st of all days. Just look at the gematria for a second. No, NLE Choppa matches with April Fool's Day in the ordinal ciphers with that 153. I see it as him basically telling people it was all a joke from the beginning.
You played yourself.
And it's also important to understand that those behind the music industry simply see artists as their pawns on a chessboard, to be used how they see fit once signed to them for whatever agenda they're aiming to push.
Some artists, they are puppets and they don't know, and then some, they wake up to what's really going on, or like they join the groups and they teaching them. But even in the groups you still have to search for like the meaning, or you still have to find this type of information. And that's one thing, I made a video kind of about this, uh and it's on you my YouTube, my video on how YouTube is a psyop, but they put this information out here as well, because if they, first off, you got to understand, they, if they didn't want all this type of information out, it's their shit, so they could scrub whatever. You didn't heard them say they scrub somebody off the internet or scrub their information off the internet. If they didn't want that shit on there, I'm pretty sure they can take this shit off. They wouldn't show people. The only thing is because they want this information to get out to the people who's, I guess you could say, special. They so called call them special. You feel me? And once again, I'm gonna do a video about this. But so they want this information out here so they can recruit people, as many people as they can. At first it was like they want to keep it like this old secret thing, which it still is secret, but it's not secret as in the fact is like nobody knows about. It's just secret as in the fact that you don't know exactly everything that they do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it used to be in the old time, whenever, you know what I'm saying, 17, 8, 16, whatever, when it was first, you know what I'm saying, and even older than that, because all it is just them, it's the same cycle every time. So you know what I'm saying, all it is um it was deal, and I'm thinking it's over because I did a video on this too about symbolism, and I did 2 videos on this. The first one was coming from an actual Freemason as well, a Scottish Rite, and he was talking about how symbolism is important. He took it back from the cave days, and it do go that far because they was the ones who discovered fire and a lighter, so called supposedly. And yeah, but anyways, like I said, I'm doing a video on that. But damn, I forgot what I was going now, but yeah, pretty much, man. Yeah.
Behind the music scene, you have a few main culprits that the fingers typically get pointed to, that being the Freemasons and the Jesuits. These 3 groups undeniably rule from behind the scenes, whether that be owners of labels, production companies, owners of major studios, managers, A&Rs, basically all throughout the industry, and they use artists, particularly rappers, in a unique way when it comes to the symbolism. There's often a ton of Jesus-related rituals with rappers. Think Tupac's Machiavelli cover with him on the cross. Think Kanye West and Jesus Walks, or that time when all the rappers used to rock those Jesus Peace chains. You got guys like Kanye saying he's a god.
Yeah, nah, but and just like Kodak, why you got a Jesus piece? He don't even believe in Jesus.
Those Jesus Peace
no Kodak
chains. You got guys like Kanye
actually, yeah, straight Kodak.
saying he's a god.
I just told you who I thought I was, a god.
You're leaving money on the table. Not because your content isn't good, but because the tools you're using weren't built to help you earn sustainable revenue.
Then going religious. Even Drake took shots at Jesus on his On the Radar freestyle. Or what about Kendrick Lamar, who recently before
I think it's he don't even believe in Jesus. Why you got Jesus piece? Because then he said, yeah, if you want to lead, just lead. Why you got a lot or some shit like that? But yeah, y'all know the song.
Beef with Drake was rocking the crown of thorns, which bothered a bunch of fans, but yeah, I mean, the list goes on. Now, the reason that this is done is due to the Faustian bargain they're making with the 3 groups I mentioned before. To avoid going on a long tangent, I strongly recommend watching my Faustian bargain video where I carefully lay out what I mean by this being part of their Faustian bargain. I can truly give countless examples of this rapper/Jesus symbolism, and I'm not even trying to get religious with y'all, I'm just telling you how it is. In Gematria, the words Jewish, Masonic, Lucifer, Jesus, and rapper all equal 74 in the same cipher, and it's certainly not by coincidence. But with that in mind, NLE Choppa released the single First Day Out, completely contradicting the spiritual image he had been promoting. This came exactly 151 days after his birthday, the same day he dropped his conscious mixtape From Dark to Light. Note, Jesus Christ equals 151. And think about that concept for a second, going from dark to light. Jesus is referred to as the light of the world, but Choppa did the exact opposite by going back to the quote-unquote dark side, if you will. Remember, artists influence their fans.
No, I mean, he did, but he didn't, because it's still the same thing. And even though that the group, even they have the dark side, then they have the light side. They have the good side, then the bad side. It's the same. It's polarity. Is it that they have it, but it's even though he's still part of the shit though. It's so he didn't really switch up, you know what I'm saying, go back to the dark side. But it's just that he's playing both sides.
Especially the young ones. Imagine what fans of Choppa thought when they saw their favorite artist seemingly turning to God, only to switch it up. 151 is also the 36th prime number, and NLE Choppa equates to 36, and his birthday, coincidentally, is on the 306th day of the year. Using the rules of numerology, we got a 36 connection right there, with his stage name and birthday, kind of tying it all together. But the real symbolism behind this project lies in the cover art and title, From Dark to Light. Remember, one of the 3 groups operating behind the scenes, manipulating your...
And one thing I gotta say too is I'm pretty sure most artists knows this shit, because before there was internet, I'm pretty sure there was somebody, they had infiltrators, which they still do now, but especially then they had at least 1 or 2 people that was in that in whatever that needed to be infiltrated, which I'm talking about rap it right now, but they had some people in rap that were, you know what I'm saying, and to get this information or to really blow up, I'm pretty sure they was telling them shit on how and what to do and what to say or what, you know what I'm saying, how to, you know what I'm saying, how to move and train, you know what I'm saying. Then there was, you know, or you know what I'm saying, the person that was the agent, or you know what I'm saying, whatever. He seen that this person really wanted to get in, so he went to this person in the group or these two people and got up in their ear and, you know, made them split away from the other people in the group, or made that person and whatever, so because, you know, he can be bigger on his own. Like, sometimes they send a female. I forgot what movie that was that I watched, but it was a movie I watched, and it was a group, and they split apart because pretty much the female got up in his ear like, you better than him, and you don't have to, and it was over money or something like that. I forgot what movie it was, but yeah, and then he ended up doing his own thing, and yeah. I think it was yeah, I had it on the tip of my tongue, but I lost it. But anyways, yeah.
Favorite artist in mainstream media are the Freemasons. Their own symbolism bears a noticeable resemblance to Choppa's Conscious mixtape cover. This image you see here symbolizes the performative structure and purpose.
Also, just like Michael Jackson's, because damn near this, I mean, I'm pretty sure he got this type of shit. He got this style, or, you know, because y'all know that I forgot what it was called, but that was the only CD I have ever bought in my life. And it was a Michael Jackson, that CD with this type of theme, occult imagery on it. It was like the dog head sitting in the king chair, and then he had like just a bunch of different random shit on it was the Michael Jackson album.
Of Masonic initiation rituals, describing different versions of the Haremic legend and explaining the key craft degrees of Freemasonry: entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. To wrap up this segment, what I'm getting at is that this project, From Dark to Light, was just a Masonic ritual following his initiation after being signed. The Faustian bargain requires you to give up things that are morally or spiritually important to people. And Choppa did that by selling this false image, only to have deceived his fans. But to cap off why it's truly just a Masonic ritual, consider the label he signed to, Warner Music Group, which is obviously under the Warner Brothers umbrella. And for those unfamiliar with the Warner Brothers, Harry, Albert, Sam, and Jack Warner, they were all Freemasons and played a massive role in our modern day entertainment landscape.
If no one ever taught you how to manage your money, or you're secretly ashamed of where you're at financially, this is for.
On the 5th of March 2022, NLE Choppa and his on and off again girlfriend / baby mama, Marissa Danae, announced the tragic loss of their unborn son, with Marissa suffering a miscarriage. I covered this story back when it happened, but it's worth mentioning that Choppa and Marissa documented their pregnancy journey on their large social media platforms. And of course, this type of couple content attracts a lot of attention from both genders, and from a business standpoint, it simply means more eyes on NLE's music. So of course, with the sad news, naturally, both of their followers on social media poured in to show their support and send their condolences. Earlier that year, before the tragic news, Choppa's career was on the up and up. He started that year off strong with the release of his third mixtape, Me vs. Me.
Do I smell a sacrifice?
Featuring the single Shot of Flow 6, which has over 30 million views. But with great success comes great sacrifice, they say. And in this wicked music industry, that notion couldn't be further from the truth. From Choppa's 19th birthday to the loss of his unborn son was a span of 4 months and 5 days, resembling the number 45. This matches with NLE Choppa and Ritual and the Reduction Cyphers. Alright, this part might throw some of y'all off, especially if you're new to the content. But among the groups I discussed that have power behind the scenes in the entertainment industry, one thing all three of these parties have in common is their admiration.
And I do gotta point this out real quick. I don't know if that's his girl, who that is in the back, but of course the one on symbolism.
The groups I discussed that have power behind the scenes in the entertainment industry, one thing all three of these parties have in common is their admiration and worship, if you will, of the planet and entity that is Saturn. Saturn is the father of time, order, and chaos. Christian theologians and other historians have documented how people once sacrificed their children to Saturn, and the Greeks and Romans describe how Saturn devoured his own children to prevent them from overthrowing him. In short, Saturn is a dark entity with significant meaning to all three groups, ultimately known for sacrifice. Now, why I bring this up is that it was NLE Choppa's child that died. And notice his...
And I done said this in many other videos. And I even said it in this one earlier. To continue the fame and shit like that in the family, or even for you, at one point you have to do, I'm pretty sure you gotta take both doors at one point, but I'm pretty sure you take both doors. You have to take both doors. People say you took one or the other. I'm pretty sure you probably gotta take both of them. But yeah, you have to give up a firstborn. A lot of them, you have to give up your firstborn, and a lot of them, if you go search how many of their firstborn kids have died, can't be a coincidence.
Full name matches with the phrase Saturn worship and the Jesuit order, the full name of one of the three groups I mentioned earlier. But it gets even more eerie as Choppa's son's name was Seven Deshun Pots, which equates to 210 like the number 21, and the word Saturn equates to 21 in the reduction cipher. For those new in numerology, zeros are null. Think about how Saturn has 7 rings. Everything is just a big numerical ritual. In addition to all of that, his son's death was announced on a Saturday, the day named after the planet Saturn. And notice Saturday matches with the phrase ritual sacrifice. I mean, something definitely ain't right here. But lastly, his son's full name equates to 222 in the English ordinal, and he lost his son in the year 2022. Alright, but now it's
And here goes that other door.
2024, and NLE Choppa has been making the headlines for all the wrong reasons yet again, if you ask me. And instead of shilling this fake persona to fans about being spiritual, as that's long out the window, this man's done a complete 360. Bro went from a gun-toting gangsta in Memphis to a...
I'm pretty sure they probably might be before they even get in there, or like, because once again, they already know they probably gonna be part of it, and if they don't, well, from a young age, yeah, they probably already know they gonna be part of it, which is why a lot of them said they always had somebody around them saying that you gonna make it big one day, pretty much. Or they always say, I knew I was gonna make it. I knew I was gonna make it one day. You know what I'm saying? So they probably already knew, and they've been practicing for it their whole life. So, what I was saying was, I'm pretty sure they might probably be on both sides before they even get in the industry, because supposedly Sam Smith, if he turned these, you know what I'm saying, but if you look at him before he supposedly was, or I guess you could say straight, and he said when he did turn, he said he been waiting to do that or come out and say, you know what I'm saying, supposedly, I guess everybody already knew that was in the industry, but we as the crowd didn't know, you know what I'm saying. But you can look at his old photos and now and kind of see like, oh yeah, he was probably oh yeah, he was already like that, so he was just waiting to come out, you know what I'm saying. But Yeah, they might be already both sides before they get in the industry.
A spiritual rapper back to a gangster rapper, all the way to this.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
NLE Choppa has also apparently made his way into the LGBTQ community. Bro, low-key guilty by association.
And I say this in all of my other videos as well. Pink and blue symbolism. Pink and blue symbolism. The colors pink and blue.
Hey, anything to sell tickets and records, right? Hey, I know some people are going to say something like, hey man, what's wrong with that? And to that, I'd say, if you know, you know.
Michael likes to twerk. Now, does anybody in this room know how to twerk?
What did he say?
Have y'all lost your damn minds?
The rainbow community got a wicked agenda behind it, fueled by the push of perversion. I even made a whole video about it, which you should definitely go check out. To me, it looks like the label is using Choppa yet again as their pawn to push this hyper feminine / gangsta rap shit, like they've done with artists such as Young Thug. They're doing it with Uzi, Playboy Cardi, and now they got this guy going all out. They've even got him making songs titled Slut Me Out, and even plans on releasing a mixtape titled Slut Season. With Choppa obviously doing this for promotion, but I mean seriously, what type of degeneracy is this? Even his followers see that he's switching up, with comments on his recent Instagram post of him rocking a dress, saying things like,
"Oh hell nah, yo ass fruity for real,"
or
"humiliation ritual,"
or my favorite, "We lost a soldier," with a bunch more like those.
I ain't gonna
Now,
lie to
I know
y'all, he was never one of our soldiers to begin with anyways. He was always their soldier. He was never one of us or one of our soldiers. He was never, we never lost anything. Well, we never lost not anything according to what he just said on that. He was already on that side. He just been waiting to get in the industry. He was, you know what I'm saying?
one weird ass fanboy is gonna be like, it's not technically a dress, he has pants underneath.
What's the difference between these two lox bagels? This one is made from your
Yeah, I used to try to stick up for Young Thug too when he wore that dress. Talking about he wore that, but before he made that song, ooh, diamonds peekaboo. Before he made that song, talking about had to wear the dress cause I had to stick. Before he made that song, I used to try to, and on that album cover, I forgot what it was called, but yeah, with the song Harambe and Wyclef Jean and all that shit. Yeah, I tried sticking up for him too, and saying he wasn't like that, and when he cuffed arms and then sipped out with his homeboy, then they both sipped out, you know what I'm saying, they cupped and they was locked arms like they was damn walking down the wedding aisle and shit. Yeah, I tried sticking up for him, but I couldn't do it no more. I can't stick up for none of them no more. Because once I started seeing all this shit and seeing through, I was like, okay, maybe this artist ain't like that. But then I started seeing him doing that. Okay, then I try to be like, okay, or you know what I'm saying, even actors, I try to stick up for some of them. They all let me down. I tried sticking up for even new artists that come in the game, but like Sexy Red, Glorilla, and all them, I was like, okay, they might not change. They might not. Next thing you know, they get a motherfucking triangle tat and shit tatted on the middle of their goddamn chest and all this other shit. They throwing up the symbolism. Sexy Red on live talking about, yeah, I ain't going back. I said she said something about like, yeah, I joined. I ain't going back or some shit, pretty much. So yeah, don't quote me all the way, but it was pretty much that. That's sort of what she's some shit like that. So but yeah, man, I tried sticking up for all of them because I wanted to be in the industry, but I mean shit, at this point I can't.
average smoked salmon. This one is made from smoked salmon.
Boy, if you don't get this part, didn't even need any gematria to see that he's clearly teetering the line with that tweet stating, I'm coming out. And I said it in my Playboy Cardi video, if you gave for pay, there ain't much to say. However, it wouldn't be right if I didn't whip out that gematria for y'all. Note, NLE Choppa posted this tweet on September 5th, a date that can be written 5/9 like the number 59. Remember, his tweet read, I'm coming out, which equals 59. And remember, fans immediately questioned this tweet and rushed to the idea of this being a humiliation ritual. And they're far from wrong, as you could see the phrase humiliation equates to 59 in the reduction cipher. Plus, this post came 58 days before his upcoming birthday. The phrase "I'm coming out" equates to 58 in the full reduction cipher. I mean,
what is that song? That old school. I want the world to know. Gotta let it show. Yeah, know whoever that was that sung that song. But that's what NLE Chopper said.
if that don't make you believe that these labels make these artists do things on their time, then take this in.
Pause.
The word humility equates to 117. Remember, amongst the groups in power is the Jesuits. I've thoroughly discussed in my video on the humiliation ritual how humility is practiced by the Jesuits as a ritual, if you will. And notice how Choppa posted this tweet on September 5th, which leaves 117 days in the year. And the word humility equates to 45, like the word ritual and his name, NLE Choppa. But people, do I really need to say any more? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if bro pops out with a Lil Nas X feature at the rate he's going.
That's pretty gay.
So yeah, I think Choppa has undeniably, in my eyes, gone through the doors to success, and it definitely wasn't just the independent route that he once started with. But you guys make that decision for yourself. Is NLE Choppa just a young man trying to find his way in the music industry, or is he a product of the labels and powers behind the scenes being used to misguide those that follow him? Guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Be sure to support your boy by liking, commenting, sharing.
Shoot, even Ice Spice, y'all already know when she was at that damn what you call it, that damn basketball game or whatever with Taylor Swift. Oh, when she was praying when they was when they was praying in a circle or whatever before a show or something like that. Then she after that do up the devil horns or whatever and all that shit. Yeah, man. If they ain't already part of it, they gonna get them anyway. So, yeah, that's why I said forget it. I'm not joining. I'm not joining the industry, bro. I don't want it that bad, my nigga. I do not want it that bad. I'd rather stay broke, poor, and happy than to be. Yeah, nah. Dang, so now my shit tree. Alright, so now, boom, this is what happened.
Switch to turbo.
How long has this been going for? Let me see. Okay, hour. That ain't too bad. So I might play the Herb Gotti one. I ain't gonna lie to y'all though. Let me get this off the screen real quick.
File free in the app by 2/28. All 100% free. Now this is taxes.
What happened to our mental health? In recent years, more Americans than ever before.
Rapper Tor.
Alright, so after this, no, let me go take a piss real quick and then we gonna get to it. All right, now let's get to it. My fault, y'all. I had to pee out. There, tug of water going through it, nigga. All right.
Tory Lanez has been charged with shooting artist Megan Thee Stallion during an argument.
But instead, and I'm gonna point out some shit in this motherfucker too that shows that he did not do that, and she probably didn't even cut herself in the foot. She probably didn't even shoot herself in the foot. It might have been like some fake blood or something, or it probably was, and that was her sacrifice. That was both of they. That was him. That was probably her humiliation ritual or some shit, sacrifice she had to do or something on herself, maybe. And then for Tory Lanez, it's because he exposed some shit he shouldn't expose. But he gonna get into that part about Tory Lanez on.
I'm being torn down for a narrative that's like, now I'm the poster boy for I don't like black women.
Yes, this nigga Tory shot me.
2 days after that, I get a call from Rock Nation that says, yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement. But it comes to a certain standpoint where I just can't let my character be assassinated for things that are not even really true.
Y'all don't understand what the fuck is going on? Y'all don't understand I just cracked the fucking industry?
Illuminati trying to get me, nigga.
While using my son as a sacrificial lamb to make that happen, because that's been the narrative for 2.5 years.
Through the hot and cold, I would never sell my soul.
While musician Tory Lanez.
It's a so-called pastor, preacher, or whatever. But I'm out that shit. I might do some research on him because even they know the truth. Was some of them? I'm not talking about like your average. Well, some of them probably do too, because you don't have to go to preach school, pastor, law preach school, whatever, pastor schools. Supposedly, in some states you do something like that. It's something like that. But some of them, probably a lot of them, probably went to school to be a pastor, and even they know the truth. They just don't tell you.
Convicted of shooting rapper Megan Thee Stallion, sentenced to 10 years in prison.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Script, back with another episode of The Doors to Success. Today we're cracking open a door we've never explored in this series, so let's jump right in. In a 2014 Vlad TV interview, Nori laid out the music industry in a way that hit home for those paying attention, pretty much confirming many people's suspicions about the rap game. He described it as 3 doors artists gotta walk through to climb that fame ladder. Door 1, the independent grind, where artists are hustling solo, battling up against the industry's big machine. Door 2, the shady stuff. Nori, referred to this as the
homo shit right there.
Often tied to humiliation rituals or compromising spots that make you stop and think. Door 3, the heavy one, sacrifice, where rumors float around about losing someone close to secure that spotlight. We've seen how doors 2 and 3 play out several times, but door 1, the independent route, is one we've yet to open. So today we're switching it up. Let's talk about Canadian rapper Tory Lanez.
And I didn't explain before I played this video, but this is why I'm playing this one for Tory Lanez, because I'm showing, I believe he probably was, if he wasn't part of it, you know what I'm saying, that was trying to get him, like he said, or the organizations, but he just know Illuminati, whatever, but which I'm pretty sure, but he is, you know what I'm saying, but he might have already been part of Freemasonry. And once again, like he was saying, Illuminati is trying to get him into their group, whatever. But yeah, if he wasn't already part of nothing, I'm pretty sure he probably joined, which I think he did, because I think they had a picture of him with like the Freemasonic shit on with his bald head. I believe there was a picture floating around out there like that. But So yeah, the Illuminati was just trying to get them to join into there, because like I said, everybody in Freemasonry ain't Illuminati, but everybody in Illuminati is part of Freemason. And yeah, I'm gonna do a video on that later on.
Tory was carving out a strong career until the summer of 2020, when
But
one
like I
night flipped
said,
everything.
I'm pretty sure you got to take all them doors. Door one is the first door, really. You battling out against, you know what I'm saying, like you said, the machine, which you seem like you're independent, but you know what I'm saying, you still got connections that's helping you out and helping you, you know what I'm saying, you out there trying to get connections, because you still got to get your music out to people. Now they do have industry plants that come out already signed to a label. I'm pretty sure you could do either one. You could come out already signed to a label, or you could go the independent route and then show whatever. Who knows how it really works? But yeah, this is just my theory. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you got, you know, you take the independent route, show that you know what I'm saying, you can do it, you talented, whatever, and then or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that you can at least gain people's attention or whatever. And then you take the second or third door, whichever one comes first or second, you know, I mean, third or second, whatever, you know what I'm saying? The doing some, you know what I'm saying, some gay stuff for it, or sacrificing, whichever one comes first, or I mean, third or second.
Landing him a 10-year prison sentence in a tidal wave of public heat. Plus, he was going head to head with his old label, Interscope.
And not only that, bro, ain't nobody ever pointed this out either. But you see that, bro? The Interscope sign, it got the motherfucking swirl on it. That's great.
Records, kicking up all kinds of drama. Label disputes are nothing new, but the way Tory handled his split from Interscope might have stirred some.
And not only that, why do we have a hat with the Skull and Bones logo?
Trouble. Or maybe it's just a case of a drunken night gone wrong. So let's dive in and try to figure out what's really going on. Before the world knew him as Tory Lanez, he was Daystar Shamuel Shua Peterson, a Canadian-born rapper from Brampton.
And let me tell you this too, because they also they give fake names, and they give fake names and upbringings pretty much. So nobody really knows who you are. That's why we don't really know who these people really are. You know what I'm saying? Because they give us fake names and fake upbringings and locations where they was actually or fake born or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Ontario, a suburb 50 minutes west of Toronto. Born July 27, 1992 to a Bayesian father and a Curaçao mother, Daystar was the youngest of 6. His mother, Luella Peterson, battled anemia, a condition weakening her blood's oxygen-carrying ability, and tragically died from a rare disease when Daystar was just 11. This fueled frustration and pain, sparking a rebellious streak. Around this time, his father, Sunstar Peterson, became an ordained minister.
Eve to me is basically freedom. It's a giant open universe where you can do whatever you want.
And missionary, leading him and Daystar to shuttle between Canada and the US after Luella's passing. Sunstar remarried, but Daystar clashed with his stepmother, intensifying his desire for independence. Expelled from nearly every school from the 6th to 11th grade, Daystar dropped out to pursue music, adopting a defiant, you can't tell me nothing attitude. Without his mother, his respect for authority waned. Before dropping out, he made waves in Brampton battle rapping at schools under the name Tory Lanez, even facing off against a young Toby, now a known rapper. At 14, Daystar lived with his grandmother, but her frustration with his behavior led to his eviction. From 15 to 18, he was homeless, bouncing between friends' basements in Brampton and Toronto. During this period, he stayed with N. Rhymes, a Brampton producer who recognized his talent early on and recorded his mixtapes for free, as noted in a Bramptonist article. In
I told you.
2009,
Rides origin story, somehow get a connection, and yeah.
at 17, Tory released his debut mixtape TL to TO. In a pre-Drake Toronto rap scene, breaking into the US was tough, but Tory hustled, handing out tapes at malls and subway stations, performing for anyone who'd listen. Drake's 2009 So Far Gone mixtape featuring Lil Wayne and Trey Songz put Toronto on the map, but Tory carved his own path. In a 2010 video titled Drake's Little Brother Tory Lanez Spit Flames sparked rumors of a relation, which Tory debunked, while at the same time boldly challenging Drake to listen to his music for $10,000. Yet at this time, Drake was fresh off the release of Forever featuring Kanye West, Lil Wayne, and Eminem, so he probably didn't even have Tory Lanez on his radar, but this didn't stop Tory in his grind. That same year, Sean Kingston, touring with Justin Bieber in Canada, discovered Tory freestyling over Lloyd Banks' Beamer, Benz, or Bentley. Impressed, Kingston invited him to the arena, later flying him to Miami and signing him to his Time Is Money label. Tory honed in on his writing and harmony with the help of Kingston, collaborating eventually with Trav and Soulja Boy. Though his name wasn't big in the US, he built ties with YG and DJ Mustard by 2013. Laying groundwork for future success. In 2013, Tory's 11th mixtape Conflicts of My Soul, the 416 story, featuring the DJ Mustard produced Know What's Up with Kirko Banks, earned serious buzz. From there,
So see, like I said, even though you get introduced to these people, they just connections still. You still got to put in the work and show that, you know what I'm saying, I guess that you're supposed to be there or whatever. I don't know how it goes, but specifically, nobody knows how it goes unless they in it. You know what I'm saying? But that's outsiders, and we don't directly know exactly how it go unless, you know what I'm saying, but we got little shit about and can piece together a little puzzle or story about it if you good enough and can do it, I guess, or know enough. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
he never slowed down. By 2015, signing to Benny Blanco's Mad Love Records under Interscope, Tory prepped his debut album I Told You. Its lead single Say It peaked at number 23 on the Billboard charts, showcasing his vocal versatility over bars. Tory's grind paid off with millions of streams, views, and standout features alongside Meek Mill, Chris Brown, G-Eazy, and Future. He proved he was here to stay, but as his star rose, so did the challenges, as fame often brings more problems than solutions. Even with all the success Tory was having, that aggressive energy from his younger days kept creeping back. I had to mention this to keep it balanced before we dive into the main case. So let's quickly cover his quote-unquote beefs. Around 2018-2019, Tory Lanez was standing on business, ready to squabble up or lyrically battle anybody. He wanted all the smoke. On March 13, 2018, a video went viral of Travis Scott pulling up on Tory backstage in his trailer after they performed at the same festival. The Houston native tried to keep it chill, but Tory turned it up quick.
When I watched this, I do remember this for sure, this part, because I was thinking in my head, why this definitely got to be scripted. Because if you're going to record, why not just record? You putting it out there anyways, and they know it was probably all within that group. They probably, you know what I'm saying? So they can probably most likely point it back to you, whatever. They knew you was record. So why not just record it? Record the situation like you was recording the damn fight at the mall or some shit, or out in public. You know what I'm saying? Or a school fight or some shit. Why not just actually record the shit? You know what I'm saying? Nigga trying to sneak and record it. Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's supposed to be just like you being discreet or something. You feel me? Or something like you just record the shit. You go record it. Why the fuck is you trying to hide the shit? They don't most likely know. You know what I'm saying? Damn, what the fuck?
y'all making this change. You're not the only person that they say on the show. I'm not the only one. I said what I said. If you felt the way and you want to handle it the way you want to handle it, that's why we're here right now. So I'm saying, what do you want to do, bro? Do you want to do? No. Are we apologizing, or are you want to?
This try, I guess, show that he's, you know what I'm saying, it's supposed to fit his image, you know what I'm saying, it's supposed to be this tough, you know what I'm saying, but also R&B type singer, but don't play with me type singer, you know what I'm saying, you know, a rapper, you know what I'm saying, I could do both of them type shit, you know what I'm saying, and then it's supposed to fit his hard style street image, this right here, this is supposed to give him reputation, I guess.
The fate, my niggas.
Or at least to us, it's supposed to make him be like, "Oh, Tory Lanez just, he just, damn." But I just forgot the word that I was finna say. I was looking for, but Tory Lanez just motherfucking called him out. Yeah, man, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I guess supposed to add to his street credibility type shit.
Everybody can get out of here. Every single person can get out of here. Literally, every person can get out of here, and we can shoot the fade, my nigga. And we can just get out. Niggas want to fight. Everybody just get out of here, my nigga. Let's just shoot the fade. Yo, it seems like you're just trying to come at me, my nigga. I'm not for that.
They hashed it out fast though and squashed the issue. Later that year, Tory was out here calling out artists, fishing for anyone bold enough to bite. Joyner Lucas stepped up and the two dropped some pretty fire diss tracks, trading bars before linking up on a friendly IG live to bury the hatchet.
If you don't know, of course, and you still, I mean, I'm pretty sure you might, but if you don't know, of course, diss tracks is not really, you know what I'm saying, it's just for to gain attention. Most of the time they do it so when they drop a good album, it could, you know what I'm saying, they can try and get more views. It's just for attention, pretty much.
In 2019, Tory took it up a notch, tweeting, quote, "I'm the best."
And that was around the area 20, really, yeah, that was 2020, shit, 15, and to like 2019 or so, 18, somewhere around there. That was the time that diss tracks was the hot thing to do. You feel me? If you want attention to buzz, just drop a diss track on somebody. Hopefully they'll do it back, and then y'all really got buzz.
Rapper alive right now, I will body any of y'all out, period. A few took the bait. Don Q, Canadian rapper Dax, Dream Doll, and even Detroit's Royce da 5'9" got into a tweet off with him. Tory was out.
All people that just need popularity, pretty much, or need attention, pretty much. And he was pretty much popping, so it will gain attention for them.
Here like Denzel in Training Day.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right.
But for the most part, these diss tracks were just lyrical sparring sessions, pure entertainment for the fans. But Canadian rapper Dax, bro got it the worst. Dax repping Ottawa, clapped back at Tory's best rapper claim with a solid track, I'm Not Joyner or Don Q, complete with visuals that pulled 10 million views. Unlike the others, this one seemed to hit Tory differently. It got under his skin. Same month as it was released, Tory ran into Dax on the streets of Cali and pressed him to apologize on camera.
Or this shit's not gonna end, my nigga. Or this shit's not gonna end. Apologize, bro. Apologize, bro. Or you know what's going on. Apologize, my nigga. Apologize, nigga. I got you, bro. Apologize, nigga. I got you, man. Say sorry, nigga. My bad for the Say sorry, nigga. Sorry, G. All right.
This is once again to I guess to make him look more like a street, you know what I'm saying, give more street credibility. Also, I guess to maybe gain attention for him as well, but mostly I guess to make him, you know what I'm saying, yeah.
I got you, G.
Fans had mixed vibes.
That shit was scripted as well. Look out, I gotta replay that.
Bro. Apologize, bro. Or you know what's going on. Apologize, my nigga.
Why is they all let it, bro? Like, what the fuck happened before that? I gotta go see that whole video. Why it look like he breathing hard. It sound like Tory Lanez was breathing hard. What the fuck? What these niggas was doing before that? What the fuck is they got it, bro?
Apologize, nigga. I got you, bro. Apologize, nigga. I got you, man. Say sorry, nigga. My bad for the Say sorry, G. Nigga. Sorry, G. All right, bet. I got you, G.
All right, bet. Then hop back in the car like, what?
Fans had mixed vibes. Some clowned Tory for challenging folks, only to get butthurt when they responded, especially with Dax. But what if I told you that some of his fans think his 2019 battles with his label might have sparked the bigger storm that led to the Meg Thee Stallion situation?
And that's really what it was.
Now, the independent route ain't easy. As Nori put it, you're on your own, no label machine backing you. On November 15, 2019, Tory dropped Chicks Tape 5, his 4th studio album. Clearing samples was a headache, but it paid off, becoming his best-selling project yet. A month later, he posted on his Instagram story, Interscope Records, if y'all don't stop playing with me, I'm exposing what's really going on in that building. He never
They ain't like that.
never clarified though, leaving fans speculating. By February 2020, Tory announced New Toronto 3 for March, tweeting, "As soon as you hear it, I'm done with Interscope, it's been real." The album dropped April 10, 2020, and Tory was officially a free agent. In a Billboard interview, he claimed owning his masters in publishing, giving him full creative control.
Honestly, to be 100%, it's so many labels offering so much money.
And it's crazy they call it a free agent, because he's still gonna be pushing the agenda whether he signed to a label or not. It's just to help the label really gonna help him. They might even have him write, or I mean, they might even have him rap some songs that they made for him. You feel me?
Like millions of dollars, like not even on like no funny. I'm just trying to sound cool. Like I've really gotten offers that are really life-changing offers, but just don't care. It's just like, I don't know. I already own all my masters and my publishing and everything, so I'm just, it's like I don't see the reason to give that to somebody else, you know.
With 5 albums and a loyal fan base, he was ready to bet on himself. Then 2020's lockdowns hit, halting tours and gluing everyone to.
I mean, you could kind of say almost doing one-eye symbolism right here, but also doing the pointing ritual for a show. And he pointing at us, showing that he's, I guess, I forgot what that means, but I think I did a video on that. If not, I will be doing a video on that probably, but if y'all want me to. But yeah, and he pointing at us, not pointing up. He pointing at us, meaning that he's fooling us.
Then 2020's lockdowns hit, halting tours and gluing everyone to their
or something like that
screens. While some
so don't quote me direct
artists chilled, Tory seized the moment with Quarantine Radio on IG Live. Launched March 24, 2020, the first episode filled with freestyles, music, and vibes drew
I think I might have done it. Let me go to this. Let me go real quick, real here. Let me see some. Review the video. So this where nope. I think it's my live. Yep, this video right here talks about a lot of symbolism and, you know, pointing out, you know, stuff like that, pretty much.
30,000 viewers. Tory went live every other day, upping the stakes with cash prizes, twerk contests, and guests like Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, and Drake. Viewership soared, hitting 350,000 at its peak, but Instagram eventually shut it down for violating community guidelines, ending an era. As a free agent though, this hustle funneled millions to his music without label support. And everything seemed golden until July 12, 2020, when news broke that shook the hip-hop scene.
Rapper Tory Lanez has been charged with shooting artist Megan Thee Stallion during an argument. The DA's office says Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, argument. The DA's office says Lanez,
I was going to say, who was that laid out right there? But never mind.
His legal name is Daystar Peterson, shot Megan's feet during an argument.
Look.
In the Hollywood Hills, July 12th.
So, hold on, one more time.
Megan Thee Stallion during an argument. The DA's office says Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, shot Megan's feet during an argument in the Hollywood.
So the foot with that was coming off with the blood, she limping off the wrong foot in the first place. Why would you be putting more pressure on the foot that's hurt and then limping off the other foot that don't hurt? Ain't you supposed to be having more pressure on the one that hurt and then on the one that don't hurt? And then when you walk on the one that do hurt, that's where you limp because you don't want to put all your pressure on it. Look at the well, I guess you could say according to her, on her look at her left foot. So the one facing us. Look at the blood is coming off that foot, but she limping off the other foot.
His legal name is Daystar Peterson.
Check this out.
Shot Megan's feet during an argument in the Hollywood Hills July.
Look, that foot, this foot.
Daystar Peterson.
This foot right here facing us. Her left foot. Her left side foot is the one leaving a trail of blood, but she limping off the right side foot, the one that don't hurt. Watch.
Shot Megan's feet during an argument in the Hollywood Hills July 12th. Shot Megan's feet during an argument in the Hollywood Hills July 12th. The 28-year-old was arrested the night of the shooting, but was released after posting bail. He now faces 2 felony charges and is set to be arraigned Tuesday in LA.
And to make it look, and then she stood
there. He now faces 2 felony charges and is set to be.
The wrong leg is bent, but she put more pressure on the one that hurt. Like I said, I think sometimes they do this shit on purpose because they leave clues behind, letting the other members know like this ain't exactly, you know what I'm saying, or something, you know what I'm saying, but they leave clues behind. Or sometimes I feel like they do it on purpose and leave stuff in there, or you know what I'm saying, whatever, because they like, these niggas so dumb they ain't gonna even see it or figure it out, you feel me, type shit.
Arraigned Tuesday in LA. If convicted, he faces.
No, well, I caught it. I don't know if anybody else said that shit, but I caught that for sure when I first watched it. I was like, hold on, why has it been limping off the wrong foot?
To 23 years in prison.
Debates erupted over Tory's guilt and courts later ruled against him, but some, like myself, wonder, was this a setup to derail his independent rise? Tory never did really expose Interscope, at least not how I expected, but he did manage to pull something off in 2021 that might have actually made him a target that we'll soon cover. On a side note, his situation
and not only that, maybe if he would have kept it to himself, he might have been good, but because he started spreading it around, it's probably definitely what got the target locked on him. But if he would have kept it to himself and maybe not said nothing, you know what I'm saying, he might have been good, or they would have came to him like, okay, you need to stop doing this, maybe. But because he put it out there, yeah, and he was trying to go against them, you know what I'm saying, the elite, or go against, you know what I'm saying, and try to get bigger than them or whatever, or try to, you know what I'm saying, go against the ones that put him on, I guess you could say, whatever, or made him who he is, I guess you could say. Yeah, they didn't like that, and he was trying to get other people to do it, so yeah.
Reminds me of the Chris Brown and Rihanna incident years.
Or other artists, and you know, if all the artists start doing that, they gonna be losing their money, and you know, you don't fuck with their pockets.
Back. Ironically, Chris Brown,
or at least, well, they don't like when you do that. If you really want to get under their skin, that's what you do. You hit their pockets, bro, because they can't live without it. That's their whole point of existence.
Consistently supported Tory through this. I mean, both women's careers soared, received a ton of awards, did the press runs, the whole shebang, while the men fought to clear their names in the courthouse and court of public opinion. But let me be clear though, abuse against women is obviously never tolerated, and I'm not condoning it in any way throughout this video. I'm only questioning if Tory's independent path and his threat to expose Interscope set him up to be framed in the first place.
You're leaving money on the table. Not because your content isn't good, but because the tools you're using weren't built to help you earn sustainable.
On July 12, 2020, a shooting rocked the Hollywood Hills. Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, her friend and assistant Kelsey Harris, and Tory's driver/guard, Jaquan Smith, left a pool party at Kylie Jenner's mansion. Meg and Tory were reportedly cozy all night. In Tory's SUV, an argument erupted. Court testimonies say Meg wanted to leave, but Tory and Kelsey weren't ready. It got heated, both dissing each other's careers. Prosecutors claimed Tory snapped, yelled, quote, "dance bitch," and fired 5 shots at Meg's feet as she exited. Footage showed Meg limping, bloodstains trailing. Cops found Tory's handgun, detained everyone, and Meg initially claimed she stepped on glass, but later admitting she was shot, posting injury pics on Instagram to silence skeptics. Now, Meg faced her fair share of backlash, with some, including Drake, questioning her story and siding with Tory, throwing jabs on his track Circo Loco. The media painted Tory as the villain. 2 months later, Tory dropped his album Daystar in hopes of clearing his name. In Money Over Fallouts, he rapped, "Megan, people trying to frame me for a shooting, but them boys ain't clean enough. Gotta see a couple questions. How the f you get shot in your foot, don't hit no bones or tendons? Fans that support me cause they know my heart, so I don't give a damn if a shorty no jigga." He pointed to Meg's 2019 Rock Nation management deal under Universal Music Group, which owns Interscope, the label he clashed with before.
And if this all really is, you know what I'm saying, like for real, and this wasn't just all this was just for performance, then yeah, then because I'm saying that because that song that he put out, they probably told him to put that song out, but if not, then yeah, he was trying to clear his name, but or he was letting at least his fans know. You know what I'm saying? That he didn't really do it. You feel me?
Going independent. So what's the truth? Is it option A, Tory lost it and shot Meg in both feet? A wild move that seems out of character.
Even if it was scripted though, they still pretty much letting people know that he didn't do it. You feel me? Just mockery, pretty much.
Yet we don't know him personally and emotions can run hot. Option B, Interscope, stung by Tory's threats to expose their shady practices, framed him to derail his independent rise, protecting their control over artists. Or option C, Rock Nation saw a chance to boost Meg's career, using the incident to garner sympathy, drive streams, merch, and tour sales, with Jay-Z's influence and UMG ties pulling strings. Some people watching might think this is far-fetched, but the industry's cutthroat, and a thriving Tory Lanez without a label threatens the whole system. Earlier I mentioned that Tory might have made himself a real target in 2021. By this, I was referring to his NFT album When It's Dark, which he intended to shake up the game with. Sold as a non-fungible token, it moved over 1 million copies at $1.
And this is what I was talking about. Of course, y'all probably knew, but if you didn't, this is what I was talking about when I was like, he was letting other people know how to get money without going through the label, or you know what I'm saying, that it comes directly to them. You feel me? So they can actually get their money, because they don't actually get their money, because when they get signed, you know, you get an advance, and then once you you know, start making money through that label, that all that money goes back to them until that advance is paid off, just like a loan.
Each, with fans flipping them for a profit. At least that's what Tory bragged about on IG Live, about bypassing label middlemen.
Going. Y'all not understanding what's going on. Let me fully explain this to you. I told y'all, $1 for the NFTs, right? I sold these shits to my fans for $1. People came, some people bought 20, some people bought 5.
And not only that, well, yeah, but not only that though, they do like shows and shit like that. You know what I'm saying, whatever you spend, what the label will also use your money to book shows and do shit like that. They will also and also whatever you use that advance money on, buying clothes, jewelry, houses, all that shit, you know what I'm saying, and you can't pay them back, they will take that shit.
Some people bought 60. It doesn't matter how much you bought. It was only $1. You spent $60, you bought 60. I need y'all to understand. One of those copies right now is going for 50,000, 60,000, 60,000. Yo, my nigga, and these are sold. They're sold. Go look at the list right now and see how small the sellers list is getting. Y'all don't understand what the fuck is going on? Y'all don't understand I just cracked the fucking industry? Y'all don't understand I just cracked this shit? I just cracked this whole shit. It's cracked. It's over. I cracked the whole shit. It's over. It's over. No more middleman. All y'all artists out there, Fuck your label. Fuck the nigga that's telling you, yo, you gotta wait for this day on Spotify and on this. Fuck that. Nigga, it's over. Y'all gonna get paid, and your fans gonna get paid, and they gonna keep coming to you. Why? Because y'all making money together.
Granted, this was 4 years ago. I did some brief digging to see if anybody actually turned a profit like he said. On a subreddit, a few people posted a year ago, with one saying he made 15K, but that's assuming you take his word. Essentially, if artists followed suit, in theory, this method would gut industry profits, giving labels a motive to smear his.
And I just want to say this too. They have agents everywhere. They have them on YouTube. They have them on Reddit, making sub posting all that shit. They have them on Quora. They have them on whatever social site. They is everywhere, and is infiltrated in whatever. And not only that, once again, it's their shit. So I'm pretty sure when you type in, I'm pretty sure they might have alerts or something for certain words that get brought up on the internet or whatever, which is how if somebody says they was going to you know what I'm saying, do something to the White House or whatever, and more specifically with explosives or whatever, or to a president or whatever, then they will, especially if they send it through messages. You'll remember one time, or at one point, I forgot, I think I was in like elementary though, or in junior high, but people was getting locked up, or they was putting on the news and shit. People was getting locked up for saying they was going to, shoot up some things or big explosives, including with the president or white or something, you know what I'm saying, something like that. Because they have censored and trigger words, I'm pretty sure that will alert them, and they'll get viewed or whatever by maybe a robot, and then maybe that robot or AI will send it to the actual person or whatever, if it's, you know what I'm saying, that serious enough, you know what I'm saying, whatever.
His image. Legally, things began,
or all the workers there they have working or whatever, the people that they have working from home, or the people they have in the office somewhere with a whole bunch of computers or whatever. And also, this other video right here is what I was talking about the YouTube shit. This video right there.
To snowball. October 8, 2020, Tory was charged and hit with a protective order. July 2021, he violated it at Rolling Loud, raising bail to $250K. By December 2021, LAPD testified Tory yelled, quote, "Dance, bitch!" while firing. February 2022, a deleted post claimed no Tory DNA was on the gun, fueling theories he was framed. By April 2022, Meg's Gayle King interview stirred debate.
Let me see him. I think that's why. Let me see. I'm gonna make it just a tiny bit bigger. Alright.
8. She denied intimacy with Tory, later admitting it in court, citing fear of judgment amid the Protect Black Women campaigns. August 2022.
Of course, it had zebra print, black and white. Of course. It was all an agenda. If she wanted to protect black women so bad, she wouldn't be promoting the stuff that she promotes. So.
The Protect Black Women campaigns. August 2022, Meg's Traumazine album referenced the shooting.
Her PR team or label, whatever, told her to do that.
September 2022, August Alsina alleged Tory assaulted him, leading to house arrest. By December 2022, the trial began. Gunshot residue was on Tory and Kelsey. Tory's defense claimed Kelsey shot Meg, jealous of their fling, but Kelsey's text, quote, "help Tory shot Meg 911, pointed at Tory. A jail call where Tory apologized for being, quote, too drunk was spun as guilt.
Hand off your taxes to an expert in your neighborhood. Now, your TurboTax expert can file for you, so you don't have to miss a moment. You've got better things to do than taxes. Have a local TurboTax expert file for you.
Awaken to a world of wonder in Final Fantasy XIV Online.
I was just so fucking drunk
drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just that, nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga.
And I really don't even think that might be Tory. I ain't gonna lie, that might be like a AI something. But if it was, my nigga, you know the jail phone is, well, I mean, a lot of people be snitching on the damn jail phone and shit, saying shit they shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't think that probably was even him. And if it was, yeah, they probably told him to come out and say that shit or something. Who knows? Because once again, this might all be scripted anyways.
Call where Tory apologized for being, quote, too drunk was spun as guilt.
Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just that, nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so whatever, bro. But, you know, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right. And that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But I'm just deeply sorry, bro. I never even moved like that, bro. Like, never moved like that at all, bro. Like, for real, dog.
Though his team said it was about the argument, Kelsey testified she didn't see Tory shoot, but Dr. Lee Hirano confirmed bullet fragments in Meg's feet. A key witness by the name,
once again, like I said, they have doctors that's paid off too, so they probably told that was probably a false report or something.
Of Sean Kelly saw a muzzle flash near Tory and Kelsey. By December 23, 2022, Tory was convicted of 3 felonies, assault, unregistered firearm, negligent discharge, and taken into custody. Less than a year later, on August 8, 2023, he was sentenced to 10 years. Tory's now at California Correctional Institution in Tehachapi after stints at Men's Central Jail and North Kern State Prison. And as I mentioned earlier, Tory's a workaholic and he continued to provide his fans with new music. Before his incarceration, he released an 80s-inspired album, Alone at Prom. This deeply connected with fans with its standout track, The Color Violet, surpassing 1 billion streams across all platforms. Remarkably, the first song by any artist to achieve this without playlist support and independently. He followed this success with his 2022 album, Sorry for What. Now about a year into his prison sentence, he and One Umbrella Records pulled off a miracle, recording his 8th album, Peterson, via prison phones. Tory said, quote, "It's over. I done cracked the fucking code, man. This means that not even these prison walls can stop me from dropping new music. It's crazy." After countless trials and errors, the engineers and producers delivered a project that sounds incredible for its constraints. Released March 7, 2025, it had his umbrellas, aka his fans, hyped, especially when he rapped on Free Tory, the last track, quote, "My release date is this year, 2025. I decree it in the name of Jesus." Fans buzzed with hope, driven by his conviction, but unfortunately, parole isn't until September.
Another one where he pointing.
2029, with full release by June 2033.
And it's with, is he doing this one? If you don't know what this is, that's that symbol that you know, they be having in old pictures and shit. You know what I'm saying, with like Jesus and shit. Hold on. My phone finna die, but hold on. Let me oops. This right there. This shit. And you know what I'm saying? That.
Unless appeals succeed. In October 2024, his attorney submitted a habeas corpus, which is a legal request to check if his detention is unfair or illegal. This likely fueled his optimism, but no early release has materialized as of April 2025. So, was this a setup to crush his independent hustle, or did Tory really do it?
the birth of the.
It's either it's all scripted. This is how I think on shit. It's either it's all scripted, meaning like they told them to come out and do this shit and say this shit, and then they have chaos actors and crisis, chaos agents and crisis actors and stuff, or that, yeah, they probably did try to crush his career because he was trying to expose some shit. That's the only two. That's how I be thinking on shit. It either be fake or they doing shit trying to crush, or it's real, and then you know what I'm saying, and there's some deeper shit behind it.
Alright, so let's talk about these numbers. For those unfamiliar, I'm using gematria, an alphanumeric code rooted in Kabbalah, where each letter of the English alphabet is assigned a numeric value. This allows words, names, and phrases to carry a unique numerical sum when spelled out. By combining these values with date numerology, we can uncover hidden patterns in mainstream narratives. Through the 4-base cipher system, you'll see how events and stories are more interconnected than they appear. So to start off, notice that Tory Lanez, Roc Nation, and July 12, 2020, when written out as such, all equate to 46 in the reduction ciphers. And it's worth mentioning that Meg the Stallion was born on the 46th day of the year, and remember, there's this theory that Tory even alluded to himself that Meg's Roc Nation ties are why he's behind bars. In this Vibe article from October 2024, Tory Lanez filed an ethics complaint on Monday against his former attorney, Sean Hawley, alleging that she didn't prioritize his best interests during the trial because she has connections to Roc Nation, the management company founded by Jay-Z that represents Megan. Despite Tory's attempts to clear his name, Roc Nation denied involvement in the July 2020 incident. After Tory spoke about being framed on his album Daystar, released shortly after the incident, many articles were reporting on it. Notice the sentence "he was framed" equals 194, matching the day of the year the shooting went down. In addition to that, from the day they first charged Tory to his official sentencing was a span of 1,034 days. And for those new, in numerology, zeros are null, leaving us with 134, matching Roc Nation, and July 12th written as such in the Latin cipher, one of the important ones outside of the 4-base. I thought I'd throw in that Megan announced her management deal with Roc Nation on September 13, 2019, the date leaving 109 days in the year. Roc Nation
gotta get my charge
equals 109. Moving away from the Roc Nation side of things, from the day of the shooting to Tory Lanez conviction was a span of 127 weeks. I pointed out as it aligns with the date of the incident, July 12th, written as 12/7. Tory was ultimately sentenced to prison for 10 years for shooting Megan the Stallion. Notice how that phrase equates to 127 like the date it happened. From July 12, 2020 to Tory getting officially charged was a span of 88 days. Notice his name, Daystar Peterson, and rapper both equate to 88. We'll see this number pop up again shortly as the trials unfolded. But in light of the theories that this situation was a humiliation ritual for Tory Lanez, after allegedly cracking the industry in 2021, releasing music as an NFT after he departed from Interscope Records.
But I will say one thing. I'm proud of the stance of any artist that goes against the bullshit that happens behind the scenes. Sometimes when things happen and we come out and we're like, yo, fuck the label, or like, yo, fuck the major, it's like, everyone's like, nah, this guy's spiraling out all these business label, but they don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and there's a lot of dark things going on behind the scenes, and which is the reason why I went independent.
This might actually be him.
We're like, yo, fuck the label, or like, yo, fuck the major. It's like, everyone's like, nah, this guy's spiraling out all these business label, but they don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and there's a lot of dark things going on behind the scenes, and which is the reason why I went independent, because y'all niggas ain't getting me with none of that. I'm not selling my soul. I'm not doing none of that weird shit, the rituals and all that shit.
Now, that might be another reason. I'm trying to make sure, dang, I did turn my camera. Hold on, let me switch back to this screen real quick. All right, but that might be another reason on why they are coming after him, because he don't want to do, you know what I'm saying, the sacrificing and all that shit. But who knows?
This guy going on. Fuck out of here.
From the day Tory was charged to his conviction in 2022 was a span of 806 days. Applying the rules of numerology, again, zeros don't count, so you're left with the number 86, matching the phrase, humiliation ritual, and Meg's full name in the reduction ciphers. The date of the incident, July 12, 2020, also had prime date numerology of 59, as you could see here, matching the word humiliation on its own. But back to that number 88, Tory Lanez was officially sentenced to 10 years on August 8th, 2023, a date written 8/8, aligning with his name and profession. That's the second time they used the number 88 throughout the situation, and understanding gematria allows you to spot these patterns throughout the story.
The United States, 1957.
And
white picket fences.
And hold on.
And a little over
gematria do help with that, but even though I don't know it, but listen, just knowing what I'm talking about too will help you see through that shit, because they do that. They put all that stuff. They mix all that in there. Symbolism, they mix gematria, they mix all of that in with whatever they doing. So if you understand one of them, you gonna be able to see through it 9 times out of 10. But understanding both of them even just a little bit, well, understanding one of them, because I don't really understand. I mean, I understand gematria, but I don't really do it enough to like know what numbers is what, and you know what I'm saying. But I do know a few of them and remember a few of them, mainly on like colors, or you know what I'm saying, shit like really just, you know what I'm saying, look, you know what I'm saying. But I don't really know gematria, but I do know what I know, and I know what I be teaching or what I be showing and saying in my videos, and it helps me see through all that bullshit even more than gematria do, the low key. But gematria really break it down and show you the shit that I'm saying is for real true.
For a month
instead of just using videos and shit.
After the initial shooting, Megan posted to her social media accusing Tory Lanez of shooting her in both feet. That was on August 20th, 2020.
Pretty much using another source.
This date had 68 numerology, aligning with her statement that she was shot in both feet. All right,
and I just want to bring this up too. That's why a lot of people don't really understand the Bible as well, because they only use the Bible to understand the Bible. You can't, how are you going to use something to sometimes you have, like, if you go, listen, if you trying to get it, well, let me know, actually, you're trying to get information out. Okay, so let's put it this way. If you in court and you the judge and you ask the killer, did he kill somebody? And he say no. And you'll be like, oh, slam the gavel down. That's it. He said he didn't do it. Court dismissed. Case closed, whatever. You took his word for it. Sometimes you do need outside sources to or get, you know what I'm saying, extract the information out of it. And a lot of people just use the Bible to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta use more than that. And then not only that, there's other versions and other different books of the Bible that was taken out that people don't even know about or read, which also helps understand more than the Bible itself, those stuff that they left in there. Cause a lot of it be having a lot of hypocrisy in it. It'll say it's okay to do it here, but then not okay to do it in the next chapter or the next couple verses or whatever.
Be honest with y'all, going through this story, running multiple dates of key moments and pivotal phrasings, names, and words, I'm still a little unclear of my personal verdict. Obviously, it's clear in the eyes of the judge that Tory is guilty. What I can say is that if I had to choose between the idea of this whole ordeal being a humiliation ritual versus the idea of Tory being framed by Rock Nation,
and pretty much playing both sides, just like the artists and celebrities do. Pretty much.
I'd lean
playing the light and the dark.
Or toward the latter, both for the numerical connections and due to the financial incentive.
Because it's theirs. They made it. From the Dead Sea Scrolls. They made the Dead Sea Scrolls as well.
Considering this moment was a massive promotion, whether indirectly or not, for her third album that released the same year, selling over 105,000 copies first week. She eventually went on her first headlining tour 4 years after the incident, which grossed over $35 million. Now, I'm not insinuating that Meg couldn't have achieved such success without this incident, but there's no denying it helped drive a ton of fans and supporters. And of course, Roc Nation management handles a lot of the logistics behind this tour, so they obviously benefited financially. Now, as for Tory Lanez, it's a tough situation he's in, and it does seem that taking the independent route and going against the machine has led to a list of challenges. Yet this man seems to be pushing through, releasing more songs behind bars than some artists do, currently roaming free. At the end of the day, it's up to you to decide for yourself when it comes down to it. Is there really no conspiracy at all? Is Tory being framed by Roc Nation, or is this a humiliation ritual for trying to free himself from his Interscope ties and threatening to once expose them? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below.
Okay, well that's the end of that.
I'm always looking for new tools and ways to improve my workflow. I've recently switched to Claude Code, and today I'm going to share practical tips to get them.
On February 5th, 2025,
I forgot exactly what I was going to show this one for.
News broke that legendary executive producer and label co-founder Irv Gotti had passed away in New York. As of this recording, the official cause of death has not. He made his first mark. Another observation, it's important to remember who controls the distribution of your favorite artist's music. Labels owned and operated by individuals of Jewish cause of death has not been.
I don't know what I was gonna show this one for, but I ain't gonna lie, it's just 25 minutes. So, and how long is the video already? Shoot, I guess I'm finna have a little 3-hour one, but hey, it's okay, cause you know what I'm saying. What a wonderful time today.
Been confirmed, but many sources point to his 2024 minor stroke and long-standing health issues, including his diabetes. With over 2 decades in the rap game, Irv Gotti was the mastermind behind countless #1 hits, shaping the sound of the early 2000s. From his meteoric rise to his label's rocky downfall, his impact on hip-hop remains undeniable. So today we're going to take a dive into the life, legacy, and untimely loss of a true music legend. For those new to the channel, we approach stories through the lens of gematria, an ancient alphanumeric code rooted in Kabbalah, aka Jewish mysticism. This intricate system isn't just a relic of the past, it's embedded in the very fabric of modern media, subtly shaping the way major world events, celebrity deaths, and historical moments unfold. Think of it as the missing key, the glue that binds seemingly unrelated events together. At first glance, the news may appear random.
And I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so I will say this. Gematria will help you understand it faster than the route that I took. Cause I ain't gonna lie. I've been pretty much studying this shit for a cool minute. I've been watching conspiracy shit and searching up my own shit for a cool minute. I'm talking about since motherfucking pretty much a kid in like elementary, because I said this in some of my other videos, but nigga, it started off with like, do you think Tupac and Biggie is really did they really kill him? And then searching them videos up on YouTube to, you know what I'm saying, actually prove that, you know what I'm saying, that they not or whatever, or and then it turned to the flat earth. Do you believe earth is really a globe or flat?
Series of coincidences playing out before our eyes.
And I've been studying this shit since before I even understood what the fuck I was really even watching. So now all them puzzle pieces is pretty much coming together, and I can connect them all together now. But so saying that to say this, gematria will pretty much connect it faster than just trying to learn and watch all this shit and study it and, you know, searching up shit, which would take you years to pretty much kind of understand that way. But yeah.
But once you understand how this system operates, you'll start to see the patterns.
When I found out about gematria, it pretty much helped me, or made me realize that what I was watching was actually true, or
And
what
when
I've been saying and seeing was actually true.
You'll realize one undeniable truth: nothing is ever as it seems. But before we dive in, as always, let's start with a brief background to understand how it all began. Irv Gotti, born Irving Domingo Lorenzo Jr. on June 26, 1997 in Hollis, Queens, New York, grew up in a neighborhood that was a melting pot of cultures and musical influences. His parents, Irving Lorenzo Sr. and Maria Lorenzo, were of Dominican descent, and they instilled in him a strong work ethic and a deep appreciation for music. Irving was just one of 4 kids, growing up with his 2 sisters and older brother, Chris Gotti, playing a pivotal role in his life and career. The Lorenzo family was tight-knit, and despite the challenges of growing up in a rough neighborhood, Irv and his siblings were encouraged to pursue their passions. Growing up in Hollis, Queens during the 1970s and 80s, Irv Gotti was exposed to the hip-hop scene that was taking root in New York City. As a child, he was fascinated by the music that echoed through the streets, from the soulful beats of R&B to the raw energy of rap. He was particularly inspired by artists like Run DMC, who also hailed from Hollis, and the storytelling of Slick Rick. Irv's love for music was further fueled by his older brother, who introduced him to the art of DJing and mixing records. Irv attended local schools in Queens, where he was known for his charisma and entrepreneurial spirit. Even as a teenager, he had a knack for bringing people together and organizing events, often hosting block parties where he would DJ. These early experiences laid out the foundation for his future career in the music industry. Irv Gotti's entry into the music industry was not a straightforward path. After high school, he worked various odd jobs to make ends meet, but his passion for music never waned. In the early 1990s, he landed an internship at Def Jam Recordings.
How long does THC stay in your system? When you consume THC,
one of the most influential hip-hop labels of the time. This opportunity was a turning point in his life, as it allowed him to learn the ins and outs of the music business from some of the industry's biggest names, including Leor Cohen, the then president of Def Jam. Irv's talent and dedication quickly caught the attention of his superiors, and he was promoted to A&R executive. In this role, he was responsible for scouting and developing new talent, a job that allowed him to hone his skills as a producer and music executive. It was during this time that he began working closely with artists like Jay-Z, DMX, and Ja Rule, helping to shape their careers and contributing to the success of Def Jam. In 1997, Irv Gotti, along with his brother Chris Gotti, decided to strike out on their own and form their own label, Murder Inc. Records. The name was inspired by the infamous crime syndicate of the same name that operated in New York during the 1930s and 1940s. The label was initially launched as a subsidiary of Def Jam with Leor Cohen's support. This partnership provided Murder Inc. with the resources and distribution network needed to compete in the highly competitive music.
But you see how his story still wasn't really all the way, like, you know what I'm saying? How on other people's that we just watched, we got a little bit more of a whole piece story. With him, you don't really know like how he got into the industry. He just somehow started making music or something like that, and then like there's really no really like, I guess I think he gonna keep on talking about it. So let me just keep
industry. Irv's vision for Murder Inc. was to create a label that blended the gritty realism of street life with the melodic sensibilities of R&B. This unique approach would set Murder Inc. apart from other labels and help it achieve tremendous success in the early 2000s. The early 2000s were a golden era for Murder Inc. Records, thanks in large part to the success of its flagship artists, Ja Rule and Ashanti. Ja Rule, who had been signed to Def Jam under Irv's guidance, became one of the most recognizable faces in hip-hop. with a string of hit singles and albums that dominated the charts. His collaborations with Ashanti, who was discovered by Irv and signed to Murder Inc., produced some of the most memorable songs of the era, including Always on Time and Mesmerize. Ashanti's self-titled debut album, released in 2002, was a commercial juggernaut, selling over 500,000 copies in its first week and eventually going triple platinum. The album earned Ashanti a Grammy Award for Best Contemporary R&B Album and solidified her status as one of the leading voices in R&B. Ja Rule's albums such as Pain is Love in 2001 and The Last Temptation in 2002 were equally successful, with Pain is Love debuting at #1 on the Billboard 200 and earning a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album. Murder Inc. Records was riding high, with its artists consistently topping the charts and earning critical acclaim. The label's success was a testament to Irv Gotti's ability to identify and nurture talent, as well as his innovative approach to blending hip-hop and R&B. But despite its success, Murder Inc. Records faced significant challenges in the mid-2000s, most notably a highly publicized feud with rapper 50 Cent. The beef between Ja Rule and 50 Cent, which had been simmering for years, escalated into a full-blown war of words and diss tracks, and you guys probably know the rest. 50 Cent, who was signed to Eminem's Shady Records and Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment, used his platform to launch a relentless campaign against Ja Rule and Murder Inc., accusing them of being inauthentic and questioning their street cred. The feud took a toll on Murder Inc.'s reputation and commercial success. Ja Rule's albums began to underperform, and the label struggled to maintain its dominance in the face of 50 Cent's rising stardom. Compounding these issues was a federal investigation into Murder Inc.'s finances, which alleged that the label was being funded by drug money. In 2003, the label's offices were raided by federal agents, and Irv Gotti and his brother Chris were subjected to intense scrutiny. Although no charges were ever filed, the investigation cast a shadow over the label and contributed to its decline. In the years following the decline of Murder Inc., Irv Gotti remained active in the music industry, working as a producer and executive. In September 2013, he launched a new label, Visionary Music Group, with the goal of discovering and developing new talent. However, his heart remained with Murder Inc., and on May 29, 2017, he announced the relaunch of the label in partnership with 300 Entertainment, a company founded by Leor Cohen, the same man who had given Irv his start at Def Jam.
At what point did you feel Irv was ready to run a label in contrast to just being A&R?
Till the motherfucker took it from me.
Okay, I think I remember. I think I was gonna show this video on how how they pick you, I guess, to I forgot. I don't know. I think that was wild, but on something about like how they pick you to be, you know what I'm saying, successful or something like that. You see, he wasn't even no artist for real. He was a A&R, and he was close to Leo Cohen, however you say his name. So yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know.
I would have had him still in fucking A&R for Def Jam.
And look how he acts. Somebody that's trying to act like a black down with the crew type. You know what I'm saying? Look, just look at this act, bro.
Label in contrast to just...
I'm gonna even zoom it in for y'all.
Being A&R.
Till the motherfucker took it from me. Okay, I would have had him still in fucking A&R for Def Jam had he not said, fuck that. I'm making you too much money. And Irv took. Every great person took what they had. I didn't give him shit. He grabbed it, snatched it, and did it on his own. Because I would have had him still A&R for us, had he not had the nuts to go out on his own and bring it. Because, you know, a lot of these A&R people are comfortable as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
They prefer being, No,
he throwing up the hand sign. 666 or whatever.
Revered A&R people that don't do dick. Irv, brought it, and then moved on.
What? Let's take that back. What?
You know, revered A&R people that don't do dick. Irv, you know, brought it, and then moved on.
Nigga saying shit just to sound cool.
Happy to have a piece.
The relaunch of Murder Inc. marked a new chapter in Irv Gotti's career, as he sought to recapture the magic that had made the label a powerhouse in the early 2000s. With the support of 300 Entertainment, Irv was able to secure the resources and distribution needed to compete in the modern music industry.
AI can now build a website in 90 seconds, while the only AI most people over 40 know is ChatGPT. Disappear for a month and do this instead.
Using the practice of English gematria and date numerology, along with some history, you'll start to notice how there's much more to this tragic loss than meets the eye. Irv Gotti's passing on February 5th, a date written 2/5 or 5/2 like the number 52, a number we'll revisit later, holds intriguing significance. For instance, the words stroke and death equate to 25 in the full reduction cipher, adding yet another layer of curiosity to the date. For those unfamiliar with the world of numerology and ciphers, let me break it down quickly. The first system is the basic English ordinal cipher, where each of the 26 letters in the alphabet is assigned a number. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and so on, up to Z equaling 26. The reverse ordinal cipher simply flips this, so A equals 26 and Z equals 1. Next, we have the reduction ciphers, which involves reducing double-digit numbers to a single digit, hence the term reduction. This method is rooted in Pythagorean numerology. For example, in the full reduction cipher, the letter J, the 10th letter of the alphabet, is reduced to 1, since 1 plus 0 equals 1. Similarly, K, the 11th letter, becomes 2, 1 plus 1 equals 2. This pattern continues for all double-digit numbers, and the reverse full reduction cipher simply inverts the order, much like the reverse ordinal. With that out of the way, let's revisit Irv Gotti's early career through the lens of gematria. He made his first mark in music as a producer and DJ, going by the name DJ Irv for a time. Interestingly, the name DJ Irv equates to 36 in gematria. While speaking on the number 36, it's interesting to see that the word diabetes equals 151, the 36th prime number. And we know from Irv Gotti himself that this has been a struggle for a while. Later, he adopted the name Irv Gotti and co-founded the infamous Murder Inc. Records, often simply referred to as Murder Inc. Here, another fascinating pattern emerges. The name Irv Gotti and the label Murder Inc. share a 51 connection in the reduction ciphers. Even more striking is the fact that Murder Inc. and the date of Irv's passing, February 5th, both equate to 57 in the reduction ciphers when you spell out the date as such. Now, at the time of the recording, Irv Gotti's official cause of death has yet to be announced, but sources have pointed to that stroke he suffered last year. As reported by Hip Hop DX, according to the article, West Coast music manager Wack 100 was the first to publicly reveal Irv's health struggles, sharing a photo on his Instagram of Irv walking with a cane. A representative from Irv's team later confirmed to TMZ that the stroke had occurred months before the news broke, and that Irv had already made a full recovery by the time it became public. Notably, the span of time between Wack 100's Instagram post and Irv Gotti's passing was 163 days. For those familiar, 163 is the 38th prime number, and the number 38 holds significant meaning. Words like murder, death, rapper, and others on this list all equate to 38 in gematria. But alright, now, remember that date, May 29, 2017, the date Irv Gotti publicly announced the relaunch of Murder Inc.? Well, looking at that date, I noticed it had 51 numerology, a number that we know ties directly to both Irv Gotti's stage name and the label Murder Inc. Plus, that date also had 34 numerology when you add the day and month together, and again, he's reviving Murder Inc. Records, emphasis on the word murder. Just another observation, Irv passed away 141 days from what would have been his 55th birthday. Interestingly, the label he ran, Murder Inc., had to use an alternate name for commercial reasons, going by the Inc. records, which equates to 141 in the basic ordinal cipher. It's worth remembering that Def Jam Recordings was the label that gave Irv his chance to prove his worth in the music industry, allowing him to work his way up the ranks. Notice that Def Jam Recordings equals 151 in Gematria, which is the 36th prime number. This ties back to the fact that Irv died on the 36th day of the year, and his earlier stage name, DJ Irv, holds the value of 36 in the reverse reduction cipher. Now, earlier I mentioned we'd come back to the number 52, and it's because it connects to none other than Leor Cohen, the influential figure behind many of your favorite artists. Leor, who comes from Jewish...
Just so you ain't think it was a coincidence, here we go again.
Descent, was the one who gave Irv and his brother Chris Gotti their shot at owning a label. This is a fitting moment to remind you of the origins of Gematria. It stems from Jewish mysticism, and who primarily runs the entertainment industry, from music to film? Well, the you-know-whos. The same group that often is accused of pulling the strings behind presidents and engaging in geopolitical conflicts over land that doesn't belong to them. But that's a topic for another video. But isn't it fascinating that the very man who gave Irv his start in the music business and even helped revive his label 20 years later, Leor Cohen, holds the value of 52? This number not only aligns with words like Gematria and Kabbalah, two deeply relevant aspects of his Jewish heritage, but remember, Irv passed away on February 5th, a date written 5/2 in most parts of the world. Plus, February 5th had prime date numerology of 52.
In this legendary space MMO, the heroic acts and merciless betrayals.
Irv, brought it and then moved on. I'm happy to have a piece.
Just 3 days before Irv's passing, the Recording Academy hosted the 67th Annual Grammy Awards. For those familiar with the code, the number 67 ties to phrases like human sacrifice and blood sacrifice, adding a layer of eerie symbolism to the timing of his death. A major hip-hop label owner of Murder Inc. passing away just 3 days after such a high-profile event. But what makes this connection even more eerie is that Irv Gotti earned just one Grammy in his entire career for his production on Foolish by Ashanti on February 23rd, 2003. That date happened to be the 54th day of the year, and 22 years later, just days after the Grammys, Irv Gotti passes away at the age of 54. For some more numerical context, the first album released under the Murder Inc. times Def Jam imprint was Ja Rule's debut, Veni Vedi Veci. Notice how the album's title aligns with the label's full name through the 88 connection in the reduction ciphers. Even more striking is the album's cover art, which features a clear nod to Jesus Christ, a reoccurring theme in rap album artwork, often filled with symbolic and religious imagery.
Showing that they're enlightened.
What's even more fascinating is that many people seem to overlook this reoccurring pattern, despite it being prevalent.
And all that means is that they woken up to the fact that they are not, or that they was being controlled or being puppeted, I guess.
And for decades, we know that many of these rappers are far from religious, so some might dismiss.
And now they're doing they're making their own decisions, but they still got to do the same agenda. They still got to push the agenda though, but it's just now their decisions, I guess you could say.
It's the symbolism as a tactic for attention or a personal connection to the artist. However, it goes deeper than that. It's important to remember who controls the distribution of your favorite artist's music. Labels owned and operated by individuals of Jewish and Catholic backgrounds at the highest levels. This is where things might start to take a bit of a turn, but stick with me. A perfect example is Ja Rule's debut album cover, with the album's title Veni Vedi Veci holding the value of 74, matching all the words on your screen right now. Think about how these elements tie together. Jesus spoke in parables and his followers spread the gospel, yet notice how words like English, Gematria, Lucifer, and energy also align with the same number. This is far from a coincidence. The entertainment industry at its core functions as a source of energy harvesting for the powers that shouldn't be, and those in control have a complex, almost love/hate relationship with Jesus, if you will. This brings us to the Jesuit fingerprints part of the story, where a dive into history helps us better understand how all these pieces connect across time. For those familiar with the channel, you're already well aware of the Jesuits and their complex, often sinister history. While most view the Jesuits as a small sect within the Catholic faith, known for their strong dedication to religion and education, including running some of the world's top colleges and universities, this group wields far more influence than many realize. Despite undergoing significant suppression in the past, the Jesuits have risen to hold the highest rank in the Vatican.
And in my I forgot what video or when I last dropped it, but it was the video reacting to Antonio Talks diaspora, the black diaspora, and Drewski's church comedy skit, and talking about the mega churches, how they be and shit. I said that damn, what did he say? What did he just oh, that everybody has been enslaved, but I guess you could say the indigenous people had it the worst. Us black people had it the worst. And we still are traumatized by it and still being oppressed. But not as much as it was, but it's still to a certain extent.
Pope Francis being the first ever Jesuit pope in the church's history. Their impact extends far beyond religion, shaping much of the world as we know it today. From pioneering early forms of visual entertainment through inventions like the magic lantern created by a Jesuit priest, to co-creating the Hollywood production code, which governed film content for decades, their fingerprints are everywhere. Even the modern educational system, with its class divisions, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, stems from a Jesuit legacy, modeled after the Parisian style of learning that St. Ignatius of Loyola experienced during his studies in Paris. Although this group serves the Catholic faith and is literally named the Society of Jesus, it is worth noting that among St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the society, were his 6 original companions. One of them, Diego Lainez, was referred to as a converso, a term used for Jews who converted to Catholicism in Spain or Portugal, particularly during the 14th and 15th centuries. After the death of St. Ignatius of Loyola, who served as the first superior general of the order, it was Diego Lainez who became the second superior general. Now, to scale it back for a quick moment, this is definitive historical proof that the Jesuit order is comprised of both Catholics and Jews, and it's undeniable that aspects of their faiths have intertwined. This blending of traditions is where some argue that Jesuits faced expulsion from many nations throughout history, often under the suspicion of meddling in politics and the church, as well as harboring crypto-Jews within the order, something that was heavily frowned upon at the time. Anyway, you might be wondering, why the hell is this guy rambling on about all of this? Well, it ties back to the topic at hand, Irv Gotti. Remember, Irv named his label after the infamous crime mafia Murder Inc., which operated from 1929 to 1941 before the syndicate was essentially wiped out. And who made up this mafia? Well, none other than Jewish and Catholic mobsters. Isn't that fitting, considering the whole code I'm using to decode this narrative revolves around those two groups? Real quick, I gotta give a shout out to the OG of this knowledge, the one who put
and that's what I'm saying. That's what my next video is gonna kind of be on.
Me on, and that's none other than Zach Hubbard over at Gematria Effect News. His video on this had me motivated after a hefty break of not putting out much videos to give my take on the decode, and he's the one that touched on this interesting numerical connection we're about to get into. But yeah, as you can see, the real Murder Inc. mafia was officially dismantled in 1941, meaning we just passed the 83rd anniversary of their downfall. And get this, the word murder equals 83. Coincidence? Well, maybe not, especially since we're talking about Irv Gotti, the founder of Murder Inc. Records. When digging into the actual Murder Inc., I couldn't help but notice that the man who brought the organized crime mob to its knees after turning government informant, aka becoming a snitch, was known as Kid Twist, or Abe Relis. He died under suspicious circumstances in the early morning of November 12, 1941, at the Half Moon Hotel in Coney Island. Reports claimed he fell to his death from a 6th-floor window. Authorities concluded it was an accident, suggesting he was trying to escape using a makeshift rope made of bed sheets. But of course, most people believe he was pushed to his death to prevent him from testifying against Albert Anastasia, a high-ranking member of the mafia and overseer of Murder Inc. Anyway, isn't it fitting how Abe of Murder Inc. died on a date with 83 and 38 numerology when the word murder perfectly matches? And remember the two groups pulling the strings here, and how Irv Gotti's death syncs with a crime mob run by those very groups. Irv died at the age of 54, and you could see here that the words Jesuit Order, Sun, which is their logo, and Sun Worship, which is what they truly practice, all equal 54 in their respective ciphers. The logo.
And also, I just want to say, I just want to bring this up one more time. Why you think? Hold on, bro. Alright, so why you think he's portrayed as the sun or always with the sun in the background? Well, yeah, it wouldn't let me do it, but I wanted to get a close up. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all of it. But like I said, that's gonna be my next video.
Logo of the Jesuits is the IHS, which happens to equal 36 like DJ Irv, and remember, he passed away on the 36th day of the year. And for those curious, IHS stands for Jesus Hominum Salvator, which is Latin for Jesus, Savior of Mankind. This phrase equates to 266, and it's interesting how Irv's birthday, June 26, can be written as 26/6. Also relevant, the first ever Jesuit pope, Pope Francis, is the 266th pope. Pope Francis's real name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equals 201, like the Jesuit order. But what are the odds that his primary residency in Vatican City is the Domus Sanctae Martha, where he specifically resides in room 201? And remember where all this knowledge is from: Jewish mysticism, a phrase that equals 201. Another number that holds major significance is 187. This number is notorious in hip-hop since it's the California police code for homicide. And check this out: Murder Inc. Records equals 187, just like Society of Jesus. So what are the odds? I mean, it's even crazier that Irv Gotti actually has this number in his IG handle. So ask yourself, does this just happen to be his favorite number, or did he know exactly what it meant? Now, to help reinforce this code, as it's all about pattern recognition, it's important to show these classic examples of Hollywood numerical riddles. From the classic Murder by Numbers cover featuring Sandra Bullock, where they replace the B in the E to a 3 and an 8, and this is because the ones behind the scenes use the practice of gematria and code it into your favorite entertainment. Or how about the classic song released by The Police in 1983, emphasis on the 83, titled Murder by Numbers, where the hook sings, "It's murder by numbers, 1, 2, 3, it's as easy to learn as your ABCs." But people, that's all I got for you for now until...
Well, That's the end of that video. But yeah, so that's gonna be the end of this one. I forgot exactly why I was gonna play that video, but I'm glad I did at the end because I wasn't gonna play it anymore. But so yeah, man, that's the end of this video. If you like it, I'm starting to say this now because I feel like the algorithm is purposefully holding my videos back and not showing them to a lot of people. So I'm starting to say this now in my videos. If you did watch it to the end, please, you know what I'm saying, helps with, give a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm a little bit, you know what I'm saying. I don't even like saying this shit because, you know what I'm saying, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. If you're not, you're not. But you know what I'm saying, it helps with the algorithm. It helps get these videos out here because I gotta fight with people that's a part, you know what I'm saying, of this shit. And you know what I'm saying, I gotta fight with agents, you know what I'm saying. So pretty much if you see this, yeah, help a brother out, you know what I'm saying. Really, you ain't even gotta like it. If you can, just hype it, please. Maybe that might be a little better. You ain't gotta like the video, but if you can, hype it. If I even have the hype button. If I don't, then you know what I'm saying, help a brother out, you know what I'm saying, give a like. But that's gonna be the end of this video. So you know what I'm saying, I'll catch y'all on the next one.
If you can hear this, you're in the circle now. Check your shoulders. Make sure it's just you. And these words. You have now tuned in to the Let 'Em Know podcast, where the real talk's quiet and the truth talks loud. No accidents. You found this frequency. So sit back. Lock in. Let them know you're listening. You're now tuned in to the Let 'Em Know podcast.